Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Moran and I'm here with River Brown and Velez, and this is now episode 188. In this episode, we're going to recap the finals, debate if this is the Warriors' most impressive ring, Celtics concerns, and if Tatum is overrated. A quick Patreon and YouTube members shout out to Phantom Wolf, Danko Hawkins, Matthew Jimenez, Vincent, Kobe, Jordan, Tua is amazing, love you, Drew, Traylon Brooks, Rookie of the Year, MG Nas, UK Boge, J Love, Clear, Zach W, Cole, Darius Garland's next, Alexander, Nazir, Dwayne, Riv is a gorgeous man, Travis, Drew's the GOAT, Holmes, Nairi, your boy Nick, Jake the Snake, Corrupt, do you like One Piece? I do. Dylan, Afosa, Mason, winning silence and make them think you're losing. Gentile Drew, Cade MVP, Mark SP4Z Shot, Jordan Watt, Evan, Dylan, Joel is the GOAT, Mayo, Andre, Peter, Daniel, Ben, Ruthless Rootster, Kill Moves, Joel B, Eagle Dollar, Tizzy, Corey, Get Funkoed, Dylan, Playboy Orlando, Big Chuck, Michael, Cole, Liam, T Grove, Tua Sucks on Ka, Ryan, Epic Linkiness, It's Black Ace, Anthony, BJ, PJs, Langston, Jazzy, Juice, Johannes, Dave, Muffins, John, Sean, Burner Hoops, Court Cousins, P. Dot, Akari, and Jay Aqua.
Good old Jay Aqua. Let's do it, boys. Should be a good episode.
Yeah. The Golden State Warriors just won the finals. I had to really dig deep to finish off those names. The throat was kicking in there.
Okay.
You're the throat goat?
Oh, my God.
My throat is hurting. I will say.
That's how we start the show, huh? Wow.
We didn't get to record a football episode earlier this week because I had a sore throat. And we weren't going to record until Monday, but we thought an emergency pod is needed because the finals just ended, and going 3 days without giving our opinion out is way too long. So we decided
finals edition.
Let's give out an emergency pod right now. I'm disappointed in the shirt you're wearing, by the way. A Lakers shirt.
I'm not mad at all.
You've disrespected them all year long. You have talked bad about them, and now you're over there wearing their gear.
You know, but you're cool with me, bro. You know what I mean?
A sucker.
Oh, it's a nice shirt, man. It's hot
It's
outside.
a subtle flex.
Who's on the shirt?
Oh, it's the Bubble Champions. So
are you sure it's the Bubble Champs? It looks like it's the Showtime Lakers, like Worthy, Magic.
Oh, no, it actually is. Oh, wow.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, thank God. Then it's not the Bubble guys. It's the
so LeBron's not even on there.
Oh, yeah, so I'm gold.
Yeah, you are. You're good.
Shout out to me. I actually thought this was the Bubble shirt because I do have a Bubble Lakers shirt.
I thought you were going to wear a Steph jersey.
It was hot. I didn't feel like doing that. Then I would have had to match everything. I was just like,
I asked him the same thing, but you know what? It is what it is. You already know that.
I'm really honestly waiting for my Wiggins jersey to come in. That's what I'm going to wear.
I heard that somebody's going to get it for you.
Yeah,
that's pretty tough.
So once the Wiggins shirt comes in.
You should shout him out on the pod. Who is it?
I will when I get the Wiggins.
I agree.
Gotta wait. I told him I will. I promised him I will.
Didn't he send you the shipping?
He deserves endless
tracking information.
He's going. Once they come in, he's getting a good 5 minutes of praise.
I feel like if he already sent you the tracking information, then it's
no. He didn't send me. He just sent me. He sent me the thing to where I need to put everything in my information. He was like, "Yo, bro, you're good, bro. Please." And I was like, "I got you, bro. I'm gonna shout you out."
Dude's a go. He's a go.
That's what's up. That's really cool.
He's blessing me with a Judy jersey also.
He is?
Yeah, he is.
Damn, he's just paying for everybody's jerseys then.
He's a savage.
That's a bad jersey.
Wiggins is far more important than Judy, but that's a nice jersey nonetheless.
Judy's a loser.
For now.
Yeah.
For now.
Sucks.
Because Wiggins was a loser until this season, so, everyone has their time.
Judy's a loser before this season, still a loser, It takes time. Football's tough.
Sure.
Football's a tough sport.
No doubt.
Tough division. Good luck.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
It is. We're going to recap the finals on this show and also talk about a lot of the subtle narratives that are surrounding the finals, the post-finals now. So, Riv, let's recap the finals. Let's start with you. You picked Golden State all year long. You picked Golden State to win this series. What are your thoughts now that they won? What did you see in these finals that made the Warriors victorious and the Celtics losers?
Well, for starters, congratulations to Boston. I don't think they should hold their heads low. Successful season, greatest turnaround in NBA history. They managed to beat the Bucks, the Heat, give the Warriors a fight. pretty tough run. You know, they've seen great things from Jaylen Brown. They've seen great things from Jayson Tatum. They've seen Rob Will in his limited time be effective. You know, so shout out to them. They put up a fight. From the Warriors, you just saw a lot of fight. You saw a lot of adversity. You saw a lot of people, you know, doubted them all year. And
got a mosquito on you, bro. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I got you.
Bite me.
Mosquitoes aren't it.
My skin, you know.
Sorry, bro.
You've seen a lot of fight from this team. You know, you saw Steph Curry, you know, put on a show, put on one of the best finals performances he's put on in a while. You saw Andrew Wiggins be the second best player for the Warriors. You saw Draymond Green even playing like shit for damn near the majority of the series, still put his head up, go into game 6, still put on a performance. Klay Thompson, he had his up and down, but defensively, he managed to show out. You know, so I think for this team, Steve Kerr being able to adjust on the fly like that and showing his coaching ability, I think this team just showed a lot of fight, showed a lot of grit. And, you know, you watch this team all year. People, the first 4 games, people was like, where was Steph going to get the help from? Where was Steph going to do it? Can he do this for a series? Game 5, Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, they stepped up. Kevon Looney, they all stepped up. They did their thing. They helped the team out. So this team, you know, this team was built for this moment. This team has been waiting for this moment to get back to the finals. Steph, Klay, and Dre have yet to lose before the Western Conference Finals when they play every game. So I think that's something incredible. They have the most wins for a trio in the finals. So that's also another incredible feat. But this team just showed a lot of fight, and I think they should definitely get credit for it. I think there should be no slander because they put up a great fight and they ended up winning the series. 3 straight games against a team that hasn't lost back-to-back games in a long time is an achievement and a great accomplishment. The last 3 games of the series, they pretty much defensively locked Boston down. Offensively, they weren't great. But defensively, you know, they were able to show on the defensive end that the Warriors are a stingy defense, getting the hands a lot, causing a lot of turnovers. So I think this team showed a lot of fight, and they showed that they're one of the best teams in the league.
100% credit to the Golden State Warriors and the fact that they are now the 2022 NBA champions. Steph Curry played phenomenally. Andrew Wiggins was tremendous in his efforts this NBA Finals. His defense on Jayson Tatum was the key to the Warriors being as effective as they were defensively. He was able to make Tatum uncomfortable, put him in positions where Tatum does not thrive. Where Tatum, every time it seemed, where he was driving to the basket, Wiggins was right on his hip and he was contesting those shots and he was met with another body. The goal was to make Jayson Tatum as uncomfortable as possible, and the Warriors did that. By removing Jayson Tatum from the offense, it basically, you take out their best offensive player, that's it. That's the series right there. You look at it from this perspective. Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, for more often than not, every majority of the games of this series, he showed up. Last 2 games, he wasn't the best. This most recent game, he was definitely their best player, but even still, he had a shaky game. And you have Jayson Tatum, who struggled a majority of these finals. Now, you look at the opposite end, Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins. Almost every single game, both of them showed up. Andrew Wiggins, there was the 2% chance that he was going to win Finals MVP because of his ability to make Tatum tired every single night and really take Jayson Tatum out of the game. Credit to the Warriors, credit to their game plan, credit to Steve Kerr, like you mentioned. Their ability to adapt on the fly and adjust their defense accordingly won them this championship. Offensively, it wasn't as if they were all-world, that all-world Golden State Warriors offense that we know. It was really Stephen Curry, Andrew Wiggins, with sporadic efforts from Klay Thompson at times, Jordan Poole at times. And credit to Draymond Green. We gave him a lot of heat the last show that we had. And the last 2 games of this series, he was tremendous, especially last night. Just the energy that he brings when he's hitting shots. The Golden State Warriors are unbeatable, really. But 100% credit to the Boston Celtics. Not the ending that they wanted. You know what? You guys are gonna drill me all show. Pause. But I know that. Yeah, right. So I had to nip that one in the bud also. But I'll get right to it. You know what? Disappointing ending. Not what you were expecting out of Jayson Tatum. No way, no how. But even still, you mentioned it. This is one of the best turnarounds in NBA history that we've ever seen. You would have liked to cap it off with the title. The window was there for them. They just aren't ready for that moment right now. Golden State Warriors showed championship experience, and it's credit to them.
Yeah, that was real. That one was crazy.
You never heard that though? Come on, like
it was just
drilled.
like it caught me off surprise.
I know that's why I had to say pause because I know you guys are the pause police.
I had a visualization.
What the? See, all right, that's not on me. Yeah, that's not on me. That's not on me.
Once you said that wording, I was like, wow. Okay, but to get to it, listen, the Warriors just a better team, and this is a bittersweet moment because I have not been a Warriors guy, but this year from the start of the season, I picked them to win the championship, and they're now here. And I said this yesterday, and I'm gonna say it again on the show, that I've underappreciated the Warriors' run as long as they've been on it. Because part of me, when they first started, there was a rivalry with Houston. I'm a James Harden fan. Then when they got Kevin Durant, the entire basketball world hated them. But now this is a new integration of the Warriors. This is a new dynamic with them because they are underdogs, quote unquote, although I never really labeled them as that. I thought that they were the favorites in every single series they played these playoffs. But just looking at Game 6, the Celtics started on a 14-2 run. I thought that, maybe the Celtics are going to come out hot. They're going to be the ones to really lay down the hammer and go into Game 7, force a Game 7. But then the Warriors just did what they do, and they went on a fantastic run.
52-25.
Yeah, they punched him in the throat.
Draymond Green hit 3 jumpers. He hit 2 long mid-range jump shots, then a 3-point jump shot. Poole brought in a spark off the bench. They were up 15 at halftime, up 22 at the end of the third quarter. The only reason why the Celtics were even in the game is because in the second half, Al Horford and Jaylen Brown were the ones lifting up the Celtics.
For sure.
Outside of those two, everybody else was either committing turnovers or taking bad shots. But really, the Warriors won the last 3 games by double digits. It didn't really feel close at all. There were moments where the Celtics were showing some fight, but the Warriors were easily the better team, and when the series was tied 2-2, I felt like the adjustment that was either going to make or break the Celtics was, are you going to keep playing drop on Steph, or are you going to start trapping him? They started to trap him, and then that got everybody else going. They got the short roll going. That got shooters wide open.
Sure.
I felt like Game 6, there was a wide open shooter every other possession. The Celtics were lucky because this could have been a 20-point blowout, but the Warriors kept on missing wide open jump shots.
Second half specifically. First half, they were unbelievable.
Yeah, they kept missing wide open jump shots, but this could have been a 20-point blowout, and I feel like a lot of that has to do with fatigue. I know people don't want to hear it, but it's true. You look at the Celtics and the Warriors, you look at how much minutes the Celtics players had to play, the top guys, Jayson Tatum, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford. They played an equivalent of, I'm trying to get the right number here, but they played an equivalent of 176 games minutes-wise in terms of the regular season and the playoffs combined. And these playoffs, their Big Four played 2,000 more minutes than the Warriors' Big Four. The Warriors' Big Four this season played an equivalent minutes-wise of 136 games. So the Celtics, their top 4 players were more tired, and they forced Jaylen Brown left in Game 5. He didn't know how to really handle that. He struggled. Game 6, he was himself again. Jayson Tatum, he was seeing doubles. He was seeing 2 bodies. But ultimately, Tatum just played bad. He wasn't able to finish at the rim. He wasn't able to hit his mid-range jump shots. He wasn't able to punish mismatches when he saw them.
Yeah.
He was only efficient from 3 this series. Really had he not been efficient from 3, he would have had the efficiency numbers would have looked horrible for him. But that's really what I thought shifted the series. Just the trapping Steph didn't work. I think they probably would have been better off playing drop. You let Steph beat you and, neutralize everybody else.
Really, you're saying drop coverage? Even though I feel like we were under the same belief that we saw the Celtics play drop coverage. Stephen Curry was taking complete advantage of that. He was eating. It was leading to Golden State still winning. They made the correct adjustment in our eyes. We weren't expecting the Golden State Warriors to, the role players, I should say at least, to step up as much as they did. But then they did. There was no way you could beat them at that point.
Well, this is why Steve Kerr is the best coach in the NBA currently. He saw that adjustment coming. In game 5, Steph wasn't on the ball much. In Game 5, he was off the ball. There were stretches where the offense was going without Steph. They were face guarding Steph, and they were just playing 4-on-4, and that's how Wiggins was able to get going. So he saw that adjustment coming, so they went away from it. And even though they started to trap Steph, they still played drop coverage. They just didn't play it as frequently, but they still played it. And
I feel like I saw more often than not, at least Al was stepping up. Rob was stepping up. I feel like the defense on Curry got that game 5 was.
I think it went from drop coverage to complete switch at that point.
Yeah.
At that point, game 6.
For
sure.
Like,
That's exactly what it was.
They switched and you left Al Horford on the island with Steph.
I hated that every single time I
and
saw it.
And nobody was rotating over to help him.
There was times throughout game 6, down the stretch of the game, where I saw Al Horford playing defense on Stephen Curry, and I turned away because I know the outcome. I know what's going to happen. Steph Curry's driving to the bucket. He's getting his. Why Marcus Smart was switching off and not picking back up made no sense. There was one play, I believe, where Horford was playing defense on Curry on the perimeter, and I saw Tatum one time switch back to Curry. That was it. But Curry made the right play. He passed it out, and the guy ended up hitting a 3, but that was it. You know, what can you really do when they're clicking on all cylinders?
But the two biggest takeaways I got from this finals is that Curry finally, well-deserved, got his finals MVP. Which was much well-deserved. He got it, averaged 31 points per game in this series. He's actually the second leading all-time scorer in closeout finals games in NBA history, only behind Michael Jordan.
Hey.
Tatum is not that guy yet. He's not that guy. You know, I think Tatum is he is ascending, but this was the series for him to make his mark, and he didn't. And he's just simply not on that level yet. He's a tier below the level that people were propelling him up to be. And also, Celtics just need more experience. I think this was the experience for them, but the Warriors look like the more experienced team throughout this series.
So how much more experience do they really need? Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown have been not to the finals, but they've been in 3 to 4 ECFs already. Same with Smart. How much experience do they really need at this point? I think it's just about getting better individually at this point.
I disagree. I think it has a lot to do with experience. The first time they made the conference finals, Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown were pups still.
Rookies.
They weren't even the players they are today, not even nowhere near close. So that's for one. The second time they made the conference finals, it was with Kemba Walker. Marcus Smart had yet to be the point guard of the team.
Right.
This is the first time this iteration of this team, with Marcus Smart being the lead ball handler and being the lead decision maker, made it this far.
But you look at the Bucks. That's an experienced team. We can all agree. Down 3-2, they show that they have some sort of experience to will out a Game 6 win in Milwaukee, which is a very tough place to play, and then go in a Game 7. They win that. Against Miami, another experienced team with one of the best coaches, top 3 coach in the NBA, of course, and Jimmy Butler. They go win in Game 7 in Miami. I feel like the experience is there, and they've already shown that experience prior to this. Maybe not the Smart, but
the
Jayson
feel of
Tatum.
The feel. I understand exactly what you mean.
So
the Heat aren't the Warriors.
No, I agree. That's my fault. I agree, but it's still. I think they have experience. I think it's just more internally. They just have to get better.
But again, it's a different feel come finals time.
That is true.
ECF to finals is completely different. I get what you're saying for sure. They had moments throughout this playoffs where they needed to be big, and they stepped up to the challenge until finals. But the finals, that feel is just completely different.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to say experience, it's lack of consistency.
Correct.
It's inconsistency. And that was my major gripe with them going into the series, is that there are stretches where Jayson Tatum is not that guy, and he doesn't perform to that level. And the Celtics shot selection gets very spotty. And all those things appeared in this series.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately why the Celtics lost.
Turnovers. Boston just had a lot of turnovers. And some of the turnovers are just like, what are you doing? Like, it was just a lot of bad things going. But I guess I could see the experience part. I just think, internally, Jaylen Brown needs to work on his handles. Of course, Jayson Tatum needs to just be more consistent. You know, I think the next level of his game is being a more consistent playmaker, being more versatile as a 3-level scorer. I think he can be that, but he still has to work on the inside game, you know. And you said it. He's not that guy yet. I'm trying to tell you guys this for weeks. He's just not that guy yet, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's an ascending star, but he's not that guy.
What are you telling you guys?
You?
I'm grouped into this?
1,000%.
Am I grouped into this?
I don't understand, Joel. Listen, I've been the guy that's at the face of the Kawhi
yeah, you've been.
grade,
It's weird because you
no,
were also
you're
part of that.
I didn't know I was grouped into this.
You were with him.
Nah, he likes to hide in the shadows because he definitely is one of the advocates that said that Tatum's not.
No,
better
because
than Kawhi.
no, because I
That
said
Tatum's better than
I
Kawhi,
said
excuse
that
me.
I would rather take Tatum going forward.
For sure. And
I
that's
never
you
said
think
also.
Tatum's
I
the
never
guy.
said he's better now, though.
Which because you think Tatum's the guy.
I said he is going to be the guy.
Okay. No, well,
I said I would take Tatum going forward for sure. I know that.
you both said the same.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
exact
know,
thing.
but you said he was. You said it was a debate whether he was a better mid-range shooter. I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did say
I did,
that.
and I was wrong.
You
about
looked
that
at
for
me and
sure.
I said, no, that's not true.
Listen, King, I don't appreciate you trying to throw me in solo. You know, like I
No,
I
I
didn't
just
throw
didn't.
you
I
under
just
the bus.
no, I just didn't know we were grouped into this because my analysis before the series was that I couldn't trust Tatum.
Which is ironic.
But your analysis also was going forward. I'm taking Tatum over Kawhi,
Yes, I am.
and you said that before this playoffs.
No, I said that during the playoffs. Yeah.
So that means going forward, I'm going to take Tatum over Kawhi.
Yes.
So now that you looked at the finals, you realize he's not that guy. Are you still taking Tatum over Kawhi?
Yes. If I'm starting a team, I'm taking.
No.
Tatum over
That
Kawhi.
was never the.
Well, that's what I meant.
Oh, that's what you
Nah,
meant.
What do you mean? That's what I meant.
This is crazy, man. Listen,
I never
can't, why do I have to be the one to fall on the sword every time?
took it like
You know,
that.
that's it. It is what it is. But 100% right. Listen, Tatum did not show up, and we're going to talk about it a little bit later. But just to make it brief, he struggled when it came to driving to the basket and hitting his mid-range. He had some really good opportunities in the mid-range, and he just was falling a
He
little
has to
bit
stop
short.
doing that. You know that dumbass Euro he likes to do to like cause contact.
But I don't mind it because more often
But
than not,
my
it
problem
works.
was they're not calling anything.
They're not.
They're not.
They're not.
Both sides. They're not.
They're
the
not.
refs are equally not calling anything on both sides.
It was egregious to a point, though.
So
there
it's
was
like,
clear points where
If you're
both
not-
sides were
if
getting
you're not,
fouled.
if then you see the refs aren't calling, you have to make that adjustment. On top of that, you're running into two people, so
Yeah.
it's like make the adjustment. Just go straight up, go strong. Jaylen Brown's just going up strong. He's just going. You keep trying to do it, and it's clearly not working. Especially on a like you have Curry and Poole on. You keep trying to do it. They're not giving you the call. You have to make that type of adjustment. That just comes from basketball
Experience,
IQ.
that too.
Yeah,
You know
so-
what I actually I dislike that's going to be a narrative coming out of the series
What?
is that because Jaylen Brown had 34 in the closeout
He
game,
did cook up.
in the elimination game, he is now this sort of guy. Listen, Jaylen Brown's a good player, but for the finals, his stats were 23, 7, and 3. 3.7 assists per game. He averaged 3.3 turnovers per game as well. He shot 43% from the field and 34% from 3. Those are okay splits. Those are
43-34?
43-34.
All I'm gonna say
A little
is
bit below, okay, but
all I'm
I'll
gonna
give you
say is last series against the Heat, he was all world.
he's a first quarter player. That's what he is.
No, he
Jaylen
is.
Brown.
Jaylen Brown-
And,
first.
and that's fine because Jayson Tatum's supposed to be
The
that
fourth
closer,
quarter, yep.
right? That's their dynamic. Jalen picks them up early on. Jason picks up at the very end. We did
But it
not
would be
see.
great if both of them.
Okay,
I
but
don't
this is
disagree at
what
all.
I'm saying. Everybody wants to label JB this guy, this better than Tatum guy.
That's strong. That's
Jaylen
strong.
Brown's stats in the finals aren't even better than Jayson Tatum's stats this entire playoff run. It's not like Jaylen Brown was averaging 28 points per game. He averaged 23. He averaged 3 turnovers and 3 assists. Every time he had an assist, he had a turnover, and his efficiency wasn't even good in the finals. They were okay. They weren't groundbreaking. But because Jayson Tatum played so below his standards, people are leaving room for the argument and the conversation. But Jaylen Brown is a complimentary player.
I think
That's what he is.
I think he's shown though that he is definitely
One of the better complimentary guys.
I mean,
Robins
yeah,
in the
I
league.
mean,
He's
that's
definitely-
true.
he's definitely shown that ability.
I agree.
I just feel like
but
there's
he's
it's
not
a little
the
bit.
guy.
It's just a little bit of a negative connotation that you're giving me on what you're trying to say right now. It's
Well,
like
Comes
I
the
understand.
JB saver.
No, which is fair to say. Of course, I've been an advocate.
Well,
of
why?
Jaylen
Well,
Brown.
why?
Just the way that you're coming across, which I agree. Yes, to put him on Jayson Tatum's level right now is strong.
I don't think he'll ever be on it.
And that's fine to think as well because we've seen what Jayson Tatum can do at his best. Jaylen Brown has flashes of being damn good, one of the best ball players on the court at times, but Jayson Tatum just does it at a little bit higher of a level more consistently, and his playmaking is better as well. But I will say, to his defense, Jaylen Brown, yes, was the better player out of the two in the finals. You're 100% right. Jaylen Brown has not leaps and bounds. They were both, if anything, Jaylen Brown was above average and Tatum was below his expectations.
Jaylen Brown played to what he is.
I disagree with that because in the Heat series, he was phenomenal. 49% from the field, 40%
Well,
from three.
Jaylen Brown averages 23 in the regular season.
And he averaged 24 in the Heat series.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But
like,
on amazing efficiency.
Jaylen Brown in the finals played to the level that he is basically.
See, but there's players that come into the playoffs, which, listen, what you're saying is sound. But there's also players that come into the playoffs and just drop off.
Defensively, though, he was really great.
He was phenomenal, and that's an aspect you have to
finals.
take into account every single time you evaluate Jaylen Brown.
Yes, I know, but I'm not a huge Jaylen Brown guy. I'm not gonna hide that fact. I'm not a huge Jaylen Brown guy.
It's okay to not put Jaylen Brown on the level of Tatum, but
of course,
Tatum ain't there yet either. Let's.
But
Tatum's
a superstar.
Exactly. If anything, at worst, he's a fringe superstar. Is that wrong? Tatum was a superstar.
What are you talking? Why are you smiling like
Riv,
that?
on some real.
Fringe.
We'll get into the topic later because it's a topic later.
Fringe is
We'll
fair.
get into the topic
It
later.
is a topic later.
But I was actually thinking when we made the comparison to Boston and OKC, the difference between this series and the OKC one is that when OKC lost in 2012,
right.
Kevin Durant was clearly that guy.
Yeah.
Like he dueled with LeBron. Even some could say he outplayed him. Jayson Tatum was not that in this series. So that's a bit of a caveat with those two teams and the ascension of the Boston Celtics to that. There's a question mark that with Tatum that he has to now answer.
You're right. Kevin Durant clearly showed, that's fair. Westbrook had a 40 ball in that finals too.
I think in game one.
Magic Johnson called it the worst performance by a point guard ever. It's crazy.
Yeah. Do you think this is Golden State's most impressive championship?
Do you want me to talk on that first or you want to go?
Anyways, I do. Come on, bro.
Fair enough. This is your moment, man.
I do because I think this is probably, you got to look at everything that comes with it. Klay Thompson, 2 years off. You know, Draymond Green gets hurt in the middle of the season. Steph coming off an injury, he broke his hand. You know, it got to be, right? I mean, let's look at Boston real quick. Are they not? Could we argue that they're probably the second best team the Warriors have played? You know, without Kevin Durant, I think you can make the argument second or first. You know,
they've only played
the Cavs.
All right, so let me add Kevin Durant to make it fun.
Mm-hmm.
Toronto, Cleveland, Boston. I think Cleveland just has LeBron.
That's
Toronto.
That's what I'm saying. But I think Cleveland and Boston, I think Cleveland just has LeBron. But I think Boston.
The healthy Cleveland team with Kyrie and Kim is
2015?
better than this Boston.
2016?
No,
I like 2016.
Well, y'all lost.
I like 2016.
I'm just going
better
based
than
off the
Boston.
ones y'all win.
Why?
Because this is their best championship. So against
Fair.
teams that you guys won.
So 2015.
You don't want to count the KD ones because I agree. I wouldn't either. I'm looking at it from that lens as well. 2015
Cavs are better than the Celtics.
A healthy
team.
Cavaliers team is better, yes.
They had Kyrie and Kevin Love.
Correct.
They just got hurt. That's why they lost in 2015.
I think Boston's better. But anyways.
Okay.
I think with everything that happened this year, you know, Steph, Klay, Dre, Wiggins only playing 11
Boston
minutes.
better than Cavaliers is strong, Cam.
How so?
It's strong.
How?
LeBron,
It's strong.
Kevin Love, and
That's it.
Kyrie.
Are
you serious?
Healthy what?
I mean, that's
Kevin
the
Love?
team that y'all
Smith?
lost to the year next.
You said what?
That's the team that you guys lost to the very next year.
So what?
My
I
point
think
being,
Boston's a better team. I think
so
Boston's a
all
better
right.
team.
So this Boston team's beating that 2016 Warriors 73.
2015.
I'm saying 2016 because that very next year was basically that healthy Cavaliers team that was not in 2015. That's my point.
You're right.
Yes,
You're right.
yes,
You're right.
yes.
No, we do not choke
Yes.
against Boston.
I agree.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
That's
fair
what I'm
to say.
saying.
That's
You
fair
guys
to
were up 3-1 against that team and blew it.
That doesn't mean Boston can't beat Cleveland, though.
They had LeBron.
But Cleveland
just
beat
you
y'all.
have, first of all, just because you have one player doesn't mean you're a better team.
They had Kyrie too.
Sometimes
Kyrie-
that often happens.
Anyways,
Wait, what do
sometimes
you
that
mean?
happens.
Anyways,
I think Boston would be fine.
They had
against
a
Kyrie.
prime Kevin Love.
Here's a clear example.
Kevin Love
also.
was garbage in every finals he's played in.
Here's a clear example.
bro. Kevin
Love was
made an
garbage in every
all-star
finals.
every year.
Kevin Love was garbage in
I
every
wouldn't talk
finals he's
about
played
I
in.
wouldn't say he was underwhelming. However,
in every finals
he
he's played
had
in.
really good moments in 2016.
He had like 2 good moments.
You'll take it, especially when LeBron and Kyrie are absolutely backpacking.
That's fair. I think Marcus
Who's the
Smart would be
Celtics' third best player? Marcus
Smart.
Who's better, him or Kevin Love? At that time,
Kevin Love is probably better, but Kevin Love can be taken out of a series pretty easily by Boston.
because Draymond was guarding him.
See, but
No, I
and
said by
that's-
Boston.
and
I
that's
think they
also
can
the-
take him out of a series.
So-
who's gonna take him out the series?
Robbo.
So, but here's another thing. LeBron's going to play fine
Yeah,
enough
LeBron.
defense on
That's why
Tatum.
LeBron is ultimately LeBron's
Correct.
the one that's over the top. So
Yeah.
I
And
understand.
Kyrie.
I just wanted to. I really
That
wanted
Kyrie
to,
is better
that
than-
Kyrie. There was conversations with him and Curry.
It wasn't conversations. It was just that one
He
finals.
outplayed him in the 2016 finals.
That was
why
it.
there was
He averaged 19
conversations.
points a game that year. That year, he averaged 19 points a game. That year, look it up.
I
Go
am.
ahead. I've watched it. Look it up.
Keep going.
There was 19
He averaged
points.
30 in the finals in the final 4 games.
He
Though.
did average 30 in the finals. I understand, but let's not. They were never on the same conversation.
He averaged 25. What are you on?
Was that
2015, he averaged
25.
19, and he only played 53
2015.
games.
Pardon me.
2016 was one of his best
Look it up.
seasons.
Look it up.
At the
You be
Euro.
so confidently wrong. I swear. You be so confidently wrong all
Listen,
the time.
I didn't want to drag into this. I just wanted you to acknowledge that the Cavaliers team would have beat this Boston team.
What Drew was saying is that the 2016 Cavs team was a 2015
I said-
Cavs
I gave him-
team.
I said
Which
that's
is
fair.
why,
I said, yeah,
which is
that's
why I
fair.
wanted to address it really fast. But
That's
go ahead,
fair.
finish your thing.
That's fair. But I think with everything that happened with the Warriors, I do think this is the most impressive championship. I think with all the injuries, the big four only playing 11 minutes, Steph not having a Finals MVP, the year he's definitely had. With Boston being that people assumed that this would be a bad matchup for them because of their legendary defense, because of the fact that they just beat the Bucks, they beat the Heat. I do think this is probably their most impressive championship, and because they're older. This is a new age in their dynasty. This is a new type of team. Wiggins. They still got the big three, of course, but they have new role players in Otto Porter Jr., Gary Payton II. So I think for that, I think this definitely is the most impressive championship because of everything I just said.
I agree wholeheartedly with a lot of what you said, truthfully. I look at the 2015 championship where you guys won. I'm not counting 17-18 just because, yes, it's impressive you guys won a championship, but at the same time, I feel like you guys stacked the cards a little bit. There was a lot more that had to go wrong for you guys to lose than to go right. It was just KD, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, the Hampton Five. It was very hard to beat that team. But 2015, there was just moments where you look at 2015 and think, man, if Kyrie Irving was playing, if Kevin Love was playing, this series could go the other way. There was people questioning that championship. There's nothing anyone can say about this championship because you guys played well on both sides of the court, and Steph Curry was the best player on both sides more often than not. 5 out of the 6 games he was the best player on the court. Steph Curry cemented his legacy, and it means a lot more to the Warriors fan base because Steph Curry is the franchise. He is your franchise's most historic player all time, and for him to be at the forefront of this championship with no asterisk anywhere near associated to this championship, it speaks volumes. Listen, I'm not a Curry guy. I'm getting goosebumps. It just speaks how great and how much the Warriors had to overcome to win this championship. You mentioned it, Klay Thompson being out 2 seasons. Is Klay Thompson the X factor for the Warriors? Probably not, but you feel his impact when he's on the court. You cannot leave You cannot leave Klay Thompson open regardless of whether he's hitting or not. You have to respect him because he is a sniper. This team showed grit. Draymond Green, we were talking bad on his name. The media was talking bad on his name. They sat him in the most important moments of the series of a game. He comes back the next 2 games and put up arguably his 2 best performances of the entire playoffs. You guys answered a lot of the critics, and there's nothing that anyone can say negatively towards this championship. I feel like that's why it's the best.
Just to fact check, he did average 19 that series. He averaged 20, rounded up to 20. But he averaged 25 in the playoffs.
So I was confidently wrong again?
No, 2016, he averaged 35.
That's 16-17 season.
Oh.
Not 15-16.
Oh.
15-16, he averaged 19.7 or 8, right?
Praise to the high ups.
He averaged 19.6.
Yeah, he averaged 20, though.
Praise to the higher ups.
He averaged 25 in the playoff run, though.
No, but I was right. I wasn't confidently wrong.
You were semi-right.
I know. I was right. Thank you.
Are you sure? It says 2016.
Go on Basketball Reference and click on the dates. That's why I searched it up. He averaged 25 his last year in Cleveland. That was the year they lost to the Warriors in the finals with KD. That doesn't make my statement wrong.
All right, man.
No, it just makes you thinking I was wrong.
And then he also came crazy at you saying that you're confidently wrong.
When I was confidently right. And he searched up. How you search it up, get it wrong.
Nah, that's
then got to search it up again.
Listen, that's also just Google folding and not putting the.
So
15,
you
16.
take the regular season more into account than the playoffs because you averaged 25
Don't try to flip. Listen to something that had nothing to do with it.
Nah, it's
that was just because he said Curry and Kyrie on the same level.
No,
that's what
I
he
said
said.
there was conversations.
Oh yeah, and I was like, no, there wasn't a conversation.
There was conversations because Kyrie clearly played better than Curry in the finals.
So
and the biggest moments. That's why. That's the only reason there was conversations. You're a Curry guy, which is why you say that, and I'm fine. I'm fine with it. But you just have to understand that people were having
one
that
series
conversation.
makes it a conversation.
Yes,
fair.
That's how people see it.
Fair.
Yeah.
You said it.
I agree. It's
fair.
not
Okay.
a right way to assess things.
Okay,
but plus, I don't know.
Do.
Even if that is your stance, right? And I'm not saying I agree with that Curry versus Kyrie thing, but Kyrie did outplay him in the finals.
I agree.
That's it.
In
That's
the
only reason
playoff
why.
run, Kyrie did average 25, and although he averaged 19.6 in the regular season, it's not like Kyrie was that for his career. He was before that averaging 24.
I just think
a game.
those 2 years, Steph was a back-to-back MVP.
No, I know.
So it wasn't like, I don't think it was, they were on the same level. Kyrie can, maybe in a playoff series,
also,
he can outplay him, but I don't think they're on the same level.
Kyrie was coming back from injury, too, so he missed a good amount of the season to start, and it took him a little while to get going.
But you mentioned the average, to kind of minimize Kyrie.
As if they weren't on the same level in the regular season.
And Curry was unanimous MVP that year.
He was drafting 30 there.
I get it.
I'm not comparing him to Curry. I'm just saying that.
No, I was saying it as if in the regular season they weren't on the same level. That's what I was saying. Like they weren't those back-to-back years. They weren't on the same level. He outplayed him in the finals, of course. I'm not going to say he didn't.
My assumption was that you were more so minimizing Kyrie as a second option.
No. Kyrie's
because when I mentioned LeBron and then I said Kyrie, you said, "Oh, Kyrie."
Yeah, you were minimizing.
No, I just think Boston can match up well with Kyrie. That's all. I think Smart's could be okay with Kyrie. It's a favorable matchup for him.
I doubt it.
Really?
Kyrie is that guy.
Interesting.
I mean, we just saw it happen.
No, say nothing.
We're talking about, but that version of Kyrie's different.
And LeBron also, it just impacts the game.
So that version of Kyrie is different than the one that he just went on the 50-40-90 tour. He just did it.
But we're talking about the greatest team in the regular season that they played against.
No, but I'm saying, like, he said that Kyrie and this Kyrie, I think this Kyrie is probably he was just had a 50-40-90.
He's smarter.
He's smarter. Last season, yeah.
Yeah, this is
I think
this is essentially the same Kyrie.
No, this season Kyrie was plagued with, he couldn't play for half the year, most of the season.
And I will say, listen, to not play devil's advocate too much, when he came back, he was nice. He struggled in this Celtics series because the Celtics could scheme up pretty well.
And last year, Kyrie in the playoffs before he got hurt was
amazing.
About to lead them to the finals with KD.
He was.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you just sound like you were minimizing Kyrie.
No, I just thought Boston was a favorable matchup. That's all. Which it's shown that it is a favorable matchup against Kyrie.
Yeah, but the Cavaliers had solid role players.
Yeah, they were good.
To get on to the Golden State Warriors, I mean, Riv, you tried to compare rosters as to to make a case as to why this might be the most impressive championship, but I don't really feel like you need to go there because it's more about the competition they face and just how they got it done. Like Steve Kerr said it. This was the most unlikely of all championships that they won. Most of the media, this was an unexpected outcome. People said the Warriors would never be back in this situation. The first championship, the Cavaliers were injured. The second and third, KD comes. They're overwhelming favorites.
They stacked the deck.
Nobody really cares for those because everybody thought they were going to win. This is the only championship that you cannot say anything about it. You can't say a team was injured. They were missing.
People say it now, though.
Who says it?
Memphis.
Talking about the finals?
Oh, pardon me. Sorry.
I mean, this
about the run.
This finals, but who was injured from Memphis? Just Ja? Ja
okay,
later?
Can't say just Ja.
They were 28-8 with 21-8 with.
You can't just say just Ja.
Yeah, just Ja is a crazy statement. Yeah. You know that, which
man, I know. I don't care about that because they beat the Dallas Mavericks with Luka. I'm fine. I could care less. And the Nuggets.
What do you mean by that? Like,
I don't get that either.
What do you mean?
What do you mean they beat?
Luka's better than Ja.
What does that mean, though?
Significantly better.
Denver was also
is Dallas better
and
team
I don't
than
think,
Memphis?
And I don't think anybody here had questions about Golden State beating Memphis healthy anyway.
I mean, we all picked Golden State.
We were talking about the media, though.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but the media, I'm talking about the finals. This is the only championship that you could say, okay, the team the Warriors faced weren't missing their 2 of their 3 stars. Mm-hmm. They weren't overwhelming favorites. They didn't add a top 15 player of all time to win this championship. They faced a healthy Boston team who was the best in the Eastern Conference, who has a superstar player in Tatum, a great Robin in Jaylen Brown, and one of the best defensive teams that we've seen in recent history. So there's no asterisk next to this championship that the Warriors won. And on top of that, you add in all the storylines of Klay coming back from an ACL and an Achilles. I love what he said about Jaren Jackson Jr. too, just calling him a bum and saying that.
Did you love that?
No, I loved it.
I
love
like stuff like that.
I love it, but it's like petty stuff really is just too much for me.
No, I love competitive things like that because Klay Thompson remembered that and he basically said it because a reporter asked him a question and Klay Thompson said strength in numbers, and then that sentence brought back the tweet and he was like, oh, and I gotta mention this player from the Grizzlies. He didn't even mention Jaren Jackson Jr.'s name. He just said this player, and he was like, he tweeted strength in numbers after a regular season victory. He was like, what a bum. Like, I love that. I love that because JJJ did play like a bum in that series too, so he deserves that.
I like what Dre said to CJ. That's what I really liked.
Oh yeah, he came crazy.
He's like, "I'm gonna be ringless, just like I like that." That's,
You look at Clay's injuries coming back. Andrew Wiggins going from labeled a
You guys are
misfit,
right. Clay can say whatever he
a
wants. You're
losing
100% right.
player, and Wiggins is now a champion, something that nobody would have ever expected. Jordan Poole's emergence, Steph Curry finally winning Finals MVP, and Draymond throughout this entire journey chronicling it through his podcast. I think it all leads to a feel-good story. Although the Celtics were feel-good, I think the Warriors were a bit better. Like, I found myself rooting for the Warriors this entire playoffs, this entire season, because regardless of what you want to say about their dynasty and how there have been moments where you've hated them, I feel like the style of basketball they play is some of the more entertaining that we're ever going to see. This isn't like the Spurs dynasty where they were boring. This is a fun brand of basketball. This is what everybody in the NBA has been trying to copy, but they can't because ultimately the engine that makes them go is Steph, and Steph is 101. He's a 101 player. And also, ESPN gave the Warriors a 20% chance of winning this series. I don't know how they came up with that formula, but they gave them a 20% chance of winning this series. When I feel like anybody that has basketball knowledge could say, if you didn't favor the Warriors, it's at least a 50-50, 60-40 matchup.
The sports books had it pretty even, but they favored the Warriors.
So it's most impressive because of everything they had to go through and the mixture of young players and veterans on the roster. Yes, they didn't play Kuminga, Moody, Wiseman didn't play at all. They didn't play their other young players much, but throughout the regular season, they were relying on them to give them significant minutes while key players were down. And it's not like they contributed nothing to this run. They all played their part. They all played their role, and it's going to prepare them better for next season. And that's why I feel like this championship means so much. I mean, they've won 4 championships in the past 8 seasons. And Colin Cowherd had an excellent analogy about this on his show, on his opening monologue, when talking about the dynasties that we've had in basketball. And he mentioned a great point. The Miami Heat were bought. The Spurs were boring. And the Lakers were great, but briefly. The Warriors have been great, not only pre-Kevin Durant.
Talking crazy on the Lakers dynasty is nuts, but go ahead.
They were great pre-Kevin Durant. They were great with him. They're now great post-Kevin Durant. And this is the most fun brand of basketball that we've seen. And this is a team that nobody expected to be a dynasty that is overachieved. The Miami Heat, they underachieved for what people thought they were going to do. And the Spurs, right, they're boring. You know, they're great, but they are boring. Yeah. Nobody mentions the Spurs with teams that, the all time I loved watching them the most. Like, they are a boring dynasty. The Warriors have the perfect mixture of entertaining, fascinating storylines and accomplishment.
How many years were you guys together?
Who?
Clay, Steph, Dre.
2013, 2014.
8 or 9.
I was going to say, because I understand what you're saying about the Heat being underwhelming, but they're only together 4 years.
They should have won 3.
They should have, and I agree 1,000% with that statement.
You know which one I'm talking about.
Of course. But at the same time, come on.
They should have.
Yeah, they're together double the time, and they have 2 more championships.
That's because D Wade knees just failed him.
That hurt.
Very quickly.
That really hurt bad. Because that 2012 season, if you get that Wade 2013, 2014, we have different conversations. But that 2013, when you really start to see the toll taken on Wade's knees, it took a toll on the Heat as a whole.
You have to take 2 years off the Warriors timeline, though.
Fair enough. I agree with that. Fair enough. It's about the same. Yeah.
Think so? I think that 2 years matters.
It does.
It does,
but I understand, like, if you want to use that logic, fine.
Like when they're all playing. Like when Clay, Steph, and Dre are all playing.
That's fair. That 2 years, though, getting Wiseman.
Injuries are a part of basketball. It matters.
Like those were some big... They needed those.
But at the same time, people don't mention those 2 years where Jordan was gone, really. All they see is the 6 championships, which I'm fine with. You won 6 championships.
Yeah, facts. That's different, though. He retired.
For sure.
He just walked away from
he's nuts. But he did come back, and they did lose in the first round.
Second round.
You're right. I apologize. But they got swept.
No, they didn't.
No,
they won 2 games. Please.
You're right. I apologize.
They swept.
They swept the next year. You're 100% right.
Please,
I apologize.
Don't ever.
All right, listen. I just gave you your respect. Damn.
So Draymond Green, he did a podcast from the press conference table, the press room table.
You talking about the moment he was cutting up Nick Wright?
there was a moment where he was talking about Nick Wright, but he interviewed Iguodala, Gary Payton on there.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. When he had like the Draymond Green podcast thing at the top. And
Yeah.
I know what you're talking
So he did a show and he actually gave a definition for what new media means. So new media is not athletes doing media. That's not what he means, because he says that there's a lot of athletes that are not new media, like Kendrick Perkins. He's not new media. He's old media because he, sparks up controversy and stuff like that. The definition for new media is standing on your word, not trying to create controversy, and knowing and talking about basketball and teaching basketball to the fans of the game. So that's what he means by new media. I got the definition from him today listening to his show. Before that, I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know if it was just athletes doing. I thought new media
was just new guys coming in, honestly.
I thought it was just athletes doing media. That's what I thought.
That's really us, man. We should throw that in our description.
New media pick us up.
New media pick us up.
Hashtag new media.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Right?
That really is us, not even speaking arrogantly. We do stand on our word.
You think Dre accepting us into the new media?
Eventually, no doubt. He's already seen our stuff, whether he agreed with it or not.
He hated it.
We don't have to talk about it too much.
He just
but
won,
he
so
saw it.
We can't even get into that crossfire.
Yeah,
he
facts.
just won. He might go crazy.
Facts. But do you think Poole would have been better off starting?
Pool party? Nah.
I don't. That's why I asked you.
I can't answer.
That's why I asked you.
I cannot answer.
That's why I asked you, because I know.
What do you think his answer is going to be?
No, because he isn't the hugest fan of Klay Thompson and his play of recent.
Oh, not anymore?
I'm saying
never
of
been
recent.
a huge fan of Klay Thompson.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
because Klay's been throughout all the teams that you guys have had. He's been the one that I find myself taking a liking to the most.
Yeah, no, actually, JC. Me and JC's always argue. I've never been a real fan of Klay Thompson.
Yeah, because he hurts Steph.
What you mean?
In arguments, because in arguments that
people use the fact that he's right next to the second best shooter of all time.
People use Klay as a way to detract from Steph, and that's why you don't like it.
Nah,
like Klay's obviously the gravity between Steph and Klay is so much more favored towards Steph Curry, but Klay's gravity can't be ignored either.
No, I just don't.
I know, but I get
gravitate to
it.
Game.
Yeah,
so you think Poole should have started?
No, I don't.
That's what I was wondering.
I don't think Poole. That's freaking insane. No, I don't think so, because Poole.
Freaking insane.
Poole was such a.
He was inconsistent.
He's a ballless life guy. You gotta really with him. You gotta wait, man. He can go in there and just start.
See, the thing is, Curry. Not that he's a ballless life guy, because obviously he's just running around the court and he's like you mentioned earlier, one of one. But there's times where Steph will just let it go.
Poole don't. Steph gets the green light. Number one.
Exactly.
Poole don't. Sometimes you've seen it. He don't be one to guard sometimes. Like in this finals, you've seen sometimes he really.
They were
I'm gonna try.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try.
Oh,
at least he tries. But when he doesn't try, I don't want him in there. But he don't try, and he'll go take a bad shot, and then he'll don't try again. It's like, come on, bro.
But I'm specifically talking offensively. It's like Curry clearly is the one, like you mentioned, has the green light 24/7. Where you see Poole and he understands, like, I'm kind of not in a position where I can be just jacking up shots that I'm allowed to shoot in the regular season. But I feel like once they start to allow him to do so, maybe we'll start to see a little bit more consistent.
Oh, yeah,
Poole.
no, in a couple years, Klay gone, baby. Klay gone.
He's going to be worried for life.
No, I mean, like, retire.
Oh.
Yeah, like, retire. I think,
he's going to be worried for life.
I think 2 years the knees cut off his career. I think he'll be gone.
He signed the contract the year that he tore his ACL, correct?
He's out of the year before. He's got like 2 years left on his deal.
I think he has 2 years.
I think if Steph goes, Dre goes.
Does he have
also.
one more?
I think they might all retire at the same time. Honestly, that is definitely a possibility.
I think that would be the best way to go out for them.
That'd be freaking awesome. They win one more like in 2 years, and then just we're done. Damn, that's mad money off the table. They just go.
So Steph Curry said that he has nothing left to prove. This was last season. He has nothing left to prove, but a lot left to accomplish. So in that 1 year's time, he has accomplished more: championship, Western Conference Finals MVP, All-Star Game MVP, now Finals MVP.
If he would have got the regular season, man, that'd have been crazy.
But there's still a chance for Steph to do way more. And the Warriors, at least from how I see it, from my vantage point, they should be a team that people should be expecting to repeat, especially with the influx of young talent that they already have in Kuminga, who has a year now under his belt. Moses Moody, James Wiseman's health. Hopefully he gets healthy. They have now an added length in the center. Oh, is there a way like Golden State doesn't make it back to this point, or at least the conference finals next season?
I obviously you want to see where everybody else moves are. You know, Denver, the Clippers, LA, of course, Memphis. You want to see what the other moves are. But speaking as of today, you know, I think the Warriors have, you know, a pretty big opportunity to repeat. You know, I think outside of injuries in the West, you may be looking at the Clippers and Denver maybe that can beat them. You know, right now, I don't think because what I expect, like you said, looking from my point of view, if you can get Andrew Bogut like defense from Wiseman, you know, just him can be that, and of course him be healthy, being able to be a lob threat,
have a presence down low.
that would be huge. And then on top of that, Otto Porter has already said he wants to come back. Iggy's probably going to retire but stay around the team as like a coach or something, so that's huge. You get another year of Jordan Poole. Kuminga's going to improve. Moody's going to improve. Clay gets a full offseason to not rehab from injury but now work on his game. Steph's going to be Steph. He's like an anomaly, so he's going to be there. I see a slight regression from Draymond, but not too much, but just a slight regression. But even then, I think with all that being said, you know, you bring back, hopefully GP has said he wants to come back. So you try to bring back the whole core. They definitely have a chance to. I only see like
Wiggins going to want money. He's going to want.
They're already talking about extending him.
Okay.
So that's huge. You bring everybody back. The core is young outside of the big three. Wiggins, Jordan Poole, Kuminga, Wiseman, they're all young. Wiggins only like 25, 26.
Yeah, 26.
So you bring this core back, they definitely have a chance of repeating. I only see the Clippers as a dangerous threat, but that's just depending on the type of Kawhi they're going to get back and the type of Paul George they're going to get back. But their roster looks pretty stacked from top to bottom. You look at Denver, depending on how Jamal Murray looks and Michael Porter Jr., he's a great third option next to those two guys, but it all depends on how Murray looks and how they fix up that defense on the team. That can be a dangerous team because the Joker causes problems for them. But outside of those two teams, you know, no. Outside of those two,
are you serious?
I'm not acknowledging the Lakers until they fix their roster and AD actually plays and he shows us he's AD back. I think Memphis still doesn't have what it takes to beat them.
What about the Mavericks?
The Mavericks, it depends on if they get it. I don't think Christian Wood was the move to beat
Do you think
the
that's
Warriors.
I don't think that's
That's why I'm speaking as of today.
Okay.
I think they have
Fair.
a strong chance of repeating. I think they have a strong chance of beating anybody in the East outside of the Bucks because the Bucks were the team that would probably cause them the most trouble because of the fact that they don't have any real rim protection for Giannis, and he'll be able to dominate the paint. But that's a team that allows a lot of threes. So it'd be kind of like a, whoa, what you would do here. But I think they definitely have a chance to
Celtics aren't coming back?
The Warriors would just beat them again.
You think so?
I know so.
Okay. All right.
There's no doubt in my mind they'll just beat them again. So I think
Celtics can't come back and be better.
they can come back and be better, but the Warriors will come back and be better. That's the difference.
Be better, or you just think be the same?
No, be better. The Celtics can come back and be better,
older.
but the Warriors will come back and be better. It's the difference.
They're getting older, but at the same time, you mentioned that you have Kuminga, you have Moody, who barely played any. I think they logged 2 minutes, actually. I apologize. Anytime they got blown out. No, anytime
they got blown out,
exactly,
he played.
they came into the
They
game.
didn't play, basically.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
But who am I to say that they can't repeat, right? I just
You're
be
the Boston guy.
a hater at that point. The fact that they were able to come in and win this championship when their backs were against the wall, people were doubting them constantly. Listen, I wouldn't say I doubted them. I was not low on them coming to the season. I did not have them lower than a 4 seed in the Western Conference. I didn't have them
You
going
had
to
Phoenix coming out the West.
I did, and listen, I was wrong. That's fine. But never did I doubt them in the sense that they couldn't be that they were never contenders. But at the same time, you look at this roster and you look at the core of it, and you see how much youth they have depth-wise, and it's only inevitable until they ascend into strong role players through the development of the Golden State Warriors, because the Golden State Warriors are just one of the best, if not the best, developmental organization we've ever seen. But how can I sit here and say that they can't be when they just came off one of the more unlikely championship appearances and championship winners that we've seen in recent memory? I think I say that very loosely because Toronto was one of the more unlikely championship winners, but also you look at how the Golden State Warriors were able to keep their core together. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. Steph Curry was down with an ankle injury, with a wrist injury, comes back the next season, is an MVP candidate, but even still, it's not enough to get them into the playoffs. We mentioned it ad nauseum. Klay Thompson's been out for the past 2 seasons. He comes back, and again, his impact on the court and his gravity, taking a little bit of pressure off Curry where he's able to just move around even more, and there's a little bit more spacing there. If they stay together and these young guys continue to develop, who am I to sit here and say they can't?
2 chips in 4 years.
That's what you're projecting?
Yep.
Whether it's not next year, it's the year after that.
It is 2 chips in the 4 years.
Curry's going to be old.
So I have a question for you. If the Clippers and Warriors meet in conference finals, who are you picking?
Oh shit.
Who are you rooting for? Is actually the question. Not picking.
I feel rooting for it. If you don't say the Warriors, I'm shocked.
I'm gonna root for the Warriors, but I want a Paul George absolute masterclass. When I am rooting for the Warriors, but I think that's probably the toughest team.
I'm rooting for good
them.
basketball.
Nah, I want the Warriors like punching on them, but I want Paul George masterclass like 4 or 5 games.
Fair enough.
I'm not going to go as far to say that they're like a lock to win it all next year.
For sure.
But everything is there in place. You look at everything that they have currently. Breakout candidates, Jordan Poole, Wiseman, Kuminga, Moody, and Klay Thompson. I know Klay Thompson is in his 30s, but he's a breakout candidate. I mean, this is a guy who
How old is Klay?
is
really?
coming back.
31.
This is a guy who's coming back from 2 career-ending injuries that have ended other athletes' careers in the past.
Hell yeah.
And
Shout out to modern medicine, man. Shout out.
he now has a full offseason to train basketball only, not rehab. We could see a resurgence from Klay Thompson. He could have a big-time year. I'm talking about averaging 22, 23 a game on godlike efficiency. Like, those are all in a
Yeah,
card.
you think so?
God-
Godlike?
Yes. Like 44% from 3, which is what he's been in his career.
He is 31. I just think that to strengthen your point, he needs to work on his conditioning.
And it's crazy, but the big three don't have to go like they're at a point where they don't need an MVP season, a DPOY regular season. They don't like Steph doesn't need to do that.
Because the depth's there.
The depth's there, and you want to now at this point you're chasing championships.
And also to add to your point even more, you mentioned it earlier about the minutes that the core 4 of this Warriors team played. Because of the depth of the Warriors, these guys aren't taxed. Their bodies aren't completely worn out because they have to backpack during the regular season. Kerr is meticulous with his lineups where he constantly.
Trolling. That's what I be telling
you're and listen, you're right.
He'd be trolling.
He's the best coach in the NBA.
Lock?
Yes.
Don't say Ime.
Locked.
I'm saying Spo.
He lost, bro.
But
Sorry.
that's not because of him.
That's fair.
Kerr has 4 championships as a coach, bro.
He also is around some of the best talent we've ever
Bro had
seen
the
associated
Heatles.
together. And Spo won 2.
Ew.
And was disappointed in the first one.
It wasn't because of Spo. It was because LeBron
They put
didn't
your
show
players
up.
in a better position to succeed.
I mean, LeBron clearly is
Nah,
the
I'm
one.
just
Yeah,
playing.
exactly.
Now
Come
Kerr
on.
won though. He just won. You get him.
Oh no, for
Spo
sure.
too.
No,
Spo
no,
too.
fine. I'm
Spo
fine.
too.
If you want to have him number 1, hey,
Spo.
what am I going to say again?
Spo's for sure too. He top 3 for sure. Spo's top 2 for sure. Actually, let me not be disrespectful.
But with all these players they have, they all just do different things. You have Klay. He's going to be back to being Klay after this offseason.
Godlike efficiencies.
Kuminga, he's already a great defender. If he can improve his jump shot and
Just
maybe
be
shoot
smarter.
34, 36% from 3 next season, that's a huge improvement for him. Moses Moody, I thought was ready to contribute right away. I thought he probably could have taken Gary Payne's minutes, but I understand the dynamic with why Kerr leaned on Payne.
Defensively, he's like that.
It's not just defensively, but I think it's just more of an emotional
Energy, 100%.
Emotional thing with Payne where, this is a guy who was the heart and soul from the majority of the season. He now goes down with an elbow injury and comes back. That's a guy that you want him to go out there and, soak in the moment and play.
He performed
Yeah,
at a high level.
He definitely performed. But Moody, I think, is actually a better player.
I don't disagree.
Moody
think
was
he's-
huge for a game in Dallas. I forgot which one it was, but it was
splashing him?
No, he was just defensively. He had
okay.
some good plays down the stretch. I think it was game 3. If I'm not mistaken. He was
Yeah, they
huge.
came back when they were down.
Yep, it was that
Huge.
one. He was huge for them.
And then Wiseman gives them the rim protection, the length that they are missing.
You guys are crazy, man.
So really, it's and then Poole being more comfortable in his role. Like this year, it was a lot of Poole starts, then Poole's on the bench, then Curry gets hurt. Now Poole starts again with Klay.
You guys being bad for 2 seasons blessed you guys.
Like now, Jordan Poole is gonna truly relish that six-man
of the year.
role, and he could be in the 6-man of the year conversation next season. So they have everything in place. Teams that can compete next season, I think the Clippers are up there because they have so much wings like Paul George, Kawhi, Covington, Norman Powell, Nicholas Batum. They have a lot of depth, so that can cause
please respect
Terrence
him.
man. That can cause a lot of problems for Golden State. Then you have Denver getting healthy. In the East, if Miami can trade for Donovan Mitchell,
They need that.
then that can put them over the top to where they can beat a team like Golden State. And then the Celtics, I think, will maybe not be back in this moment, but they'll be a contender. The Bucks will too. The Nets will be a contender, I believe, as well.
Celtics are a young core. They're going to be
I
fine.
forgot about the Nets and that.
And then the Mavericks
that's
in the
true.
West. Look, I'm higher on the Christian Wood thing than you are.
Me too.
But
Me too.
I like Christian Wood a lot.
Not that it makes them automatic. Like,
I wasn't low. I just.
It's not taking you. It's not moving you as strongly as
beating the Warriors. No, it ain't moving.
Yeah.
I think if they had Christian Wood, they'd probably go to 7.
But they lose though.
They lose, but you're not taking into account that they also are getting back Tim Hardaway Jr.
So that puts them over.
Tim Hardaway Jr. and Christian Wood are two.
They
great
changed us 5 games.
We saw to speak very briefly on it. We saw when Harden was on the Rockets what he was doing with and what Wood was able to do with the solid playmaker. Now he's getting that again with Luka.
I don't know if he changed.
And Luka's getting better.
That is fair, but change a 5
Jalen
game
Brunson's getting better
series.
too.
We'll see.
Is Jalen coming back?
He is going to come back.
Lock?
I believe he's coming back.
We'll see. I do think Dallas would be tough. Them two changing a 5 game.
We need
series,
the sign and trade for Mitchell. I need to see it honestly.
To go to Miami?
No, for Donovan to go to Dallas.
That's not going to happen.
Ew.
It could happen.
I'd rather see Bradley Beal in Dallas.
Okay.
Why?
I think Bradley Beal can play. He's a better off ball player than Donovan Mitchell.
I don't like neither of them. People have been talking about maybe packaging role players to go get that star.
They have to give up all their role players.
I think the teams
give up picks.
Teams have already showed us that in the past couple of seasons.
Why do you say that?
Picks.
I mean, who have they traded for that they wouldn't have?
But you need to trade for a star like as much as I hate Bradley Beal, to trade for a star like Bradley, you need something solid like that.
So here's the package that we came up with last year. You weren't here. You have Brunson, Dinwiddie. I don't want to give up.
You give up both of your guards.
Yeah, because you're getting a guard.
Dinwiddie was great off the bench running.
He was, but you can go and find someone.
Well, let's stop this mock trade because ultimately, I don't feel like Dallas needs star power to win. What they have is fine. They just need depth, and they need to play well around Luka.
You get Luka another star though to alleviate some pressure off.
Christian Wood is that low level star. He's not a high level star, but he's a star. I believe he is a star.
We have to see. I have to see. I'm not.
You have to see in a winning situation what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm not moved by the Houston numbers.
Shout out to our boy John Tortorelli. He said that this is Christian Wood's first NBA team, which is hilarious because it's true.
Yeah, I would like to see it more in the winning situation. So he's put up good numbers in losing situations. So I want to see it more in a winning situation before I make that.
So you're not ready to call him Andrew Wiggins yet?
No, Andrew Wiggins had to prove it, and he did prove it. So Christian Wood got to prove it.
Be onto the wave though.
For Dallas?
For Christian Wood.
Dallas will be a good team.
I'm saying
regardless.
for Christian Wood, be on that wave.
Should I? No, I'll think about it.
Okay.
I'll let you know on that.
All right, fair enough.
I do think Wood's a better fit than KP though.
He's literally I mean, if Dwight Powell was good there, Wood can definitely insert boom bada bing. I just don't know.
You're about to say that he does the same thing as KP, but I disagree.
No, I was about to say he does what Dwight Powell does, but more.
Oh, I was talking about Kristaps.
I know what you were saying. I wasn't saying they're the same person though. I know.
Well, Powell can't play a lot of minutes because he can't do anything.
Christian Wood is kind of the same, skinny, big, athleticism, lob threat, but now
39% from three.
Yeah,
I was about to say he can let it go.
He can create like a forward.
Yep. So he's much better, but defensively, we'll see.
He has length.
Yeah, he gets bullied a lot though.
Yeah, that's why like the Mavericks would probably need to get like a true center.
Like if they played Denver, I'd be scared.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. So it's
but
like
then nobody can guard Luka.
Nobody can guard the Joker, so it's like a pow.
Yeah, but Luka's better than the Joker.
Come on.
What, you think that's a hot take?
I think that's just the wrong take. This guy's come on. You don't come.
What? I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, but your silence is telling me something.
It's a thought. Like
2-time back-to-back MVP.
Crazy.
It's a tomato thing.
Fake.
You can say that about a lot of top 5 guys. If we're being honest, preference are really the same dude. It's not preference. I don't think it's preference.
They're the same dude. One is 6'7" and more agile.
The other's 7 feet tall and can break
better
down.
Playmaker.
Yeah, can do anything. There isn't a real weakness to the Joker.
His jump shooting.
What the hell?
His jump shooting's not good.
It is good. He was just
not
gassed.
I mean, throughout the whole season, he shot 32%.
He was literally okay.
I'm saying the whole season.
Listen, I understand the numbers look funny. Look at the team though.
I'm not down. You're not wrong at all.
When he had his guys, he can shoot the ball.
Joker's a good jump shooter.
Yeah, come on.
From 3? Excuse me. From mid-range, yeah, fine. From 3?
He's serviceable.
I guess for a big man.
He's you know what? Okay, we'll see. Next year, we'll see. I bet you he'll get back to 36%.
36?
Yep. I bet you he'll shoot 36% from 3.
Okay. All right. How much?
What you want to Let's go jerseys.
Oh, how about a Chipotle?
I don't like Chipotle.
What do you
McDonald's.
like? Done.
Deal.
McDonald's. Oh my god.
That's fair.
Deal.
That's fair. Yeah, let's look at Jokic's.
You're disrespecting the two-time
No,
MVP.
I'm not. Listen, I probably would lean Jokic right now, but it's not crazy to say it at all. At all.
If you're starting a team, you're taking Luka or Jokic. They're around the same age.
Yeah, that's actually.
I'm taking.
They're actually. No, they're not.
If I'm
Luka like 22.
If I'm starting a team, I'm taking Luka. He showed me a ridiculous amount this early into his career.
You're really disrespectful. You know why you're disrespectful? Because this dude Joker just carried Austin Rivers to the playoffs. Don't do that. Don't.
And Luka just carried Spencer Dinwiddie to the playoffs.
What the hell? He's way better than
He just
Austin
carried
Rivers.
Reggie Bullock to the
Like,
Bro, did you see
Norman Powell to the playoffs?
Norman Powell isn't on the
Excuse
team,
me.
bro.
Come on, Dwight Powell. You know what I mean.
Bro, the
Bastard.
Luka is starting with Compazzo, bro. Are we serious here?
I'm not saying that. Yes,
This is like-
Jokic had a terrible.
You're taking
team.
Jokic over Luka.
I feel like that's really a.
That is.
Like, that's
It
a.
is.
Well, that's basically saying who's better than who.
It
though.
is. It is.
Because they're around the same age. They're around the
No.
same age where they're both in their prime. Well, Jokic,
No,
Jokic
is older.
Joker,
Jokic is
I know,
older.
but Joker's in his prime, and
Yeah,
Luka.
but just because you pick a player over the star doesn't mean you think they're
No,
better.
this is the difference. When we argue the Tatum and Kawhi thing, the reason I say Tatum because Tatum
He's
is
younger.
24,
He's younger.
and Kawhi is about to be 32.
That's what I said.
With the Joker and Luka, yes, Joker is like 4 years older, but he's in the prime age.
I would take.
Like he's going into his prime. Luka is not there yet, but he's at the age where really you could take both players and age shouldn't really be a factor.
So I'll probably
Depending on the player you take, age shouldn't be a factor.
I'll take the Joker then.
You're taking the Joker over Luka.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to disagree with
I
you.
think Joker is the top 2 player on the planet.
That's fine. The 3-point percentage last year he was great. Shot almost 39%.
I know.
Year before that 31. Year before that 30. Year before that though
Anomaly.
40.
Oh, look.
Yeah, he went crazy.
He's
Year
dumb.
before that 32. Year before that 33. So I mean he has the capabilities, but
Stop
we'll
hating.
see. We'll see. I mean
Hating on the big dog. I do think Joker's the top 2 player in the world, though. That's why. So I'm a little higher on him than you guys. You know.
it's fair. Listen, not a little bit higher. I'm acknowledging everything you're saying. I think Jokic is a top 2 player as well right now, but Luka is right there with those guys.
Yeah, Luka 4 for me.
4?
Yeah.
Curry 3?
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Fine.
So you have Curry behind Joker.
Yeah, he went 2 times. I got it. Come on, Joker and Giannis are top 2 for me.
So top 5 players in the world right now. Who do you got?
Joker, Giannis, Curry, Luka.
This is an order.
Yes.
So you have Joker over Giannis.
Yes.
He has said on different occasions that he does have
Joker,
Jokic as the best.
Giannis, Steph, Luka,
LeBron.
LeBron.
Yeah.
yeah, I got LeBron.
So LeBron's over KD, healthy
KD
Kawhi,
is
Embiid.
6.
Embiid.
Embiid is like 8.
So what's your top 5?
I would have Giannis number 1, number 2 Jokic, number 3 Luka, number 4 Curry, number 5 LeBron.
Yeah, I mean I have Giannis, Joker, Luka, Curry, and LeBron too. That's my top 5.
I thought I just saw your list and you had it flip flopped also that Curry was better than Luka.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Curry 3 then. My bad. No,
How you
I thought I
forget
said
that?
Curry 3.
That's why I wanted
No,
to
you
make
said
sure.
just now. You said Curry 4.
Oh, okay, no. I have Giannis, Joker, Curry, Luka.
So we have the same.
then
Oh,
LeBron.
we all have the same list. Same 5 guys essentially.
Yeah,
we all have
yeah,
the same
yeah.
5 guys.
Yeah.
You're
So Kawhi
I
healthy,
mean-
you don't put him over LeBron?
over LeBron? No. Over KD? No. Over the other dudes? Yes. That's where the gap is for me.
like I could get
7 down is like the officials.
like I could get crazy and say LeBron's top 3, but then I'm
You
not
would
trying to
just be
have you
dumb.
guys not dumb.
At this point right now, yeah.
How?
You would like. All right. You know what blows mine about the things you
Let's
do?
hear this, Mr.
Because
Smart Guy.
Tatum, you had it around 8 or 9,
Mhm.
and you said if he won a chip,
Top 5.
he was going to be top 5. But yet, Curry
I would've
just
kicked Curry
won a
out of there.
chip. Yeah,
Would've
that's
kicked
what
Curry
my thing
out of
is.
there.
Curry just won a chip,
And I gave him his respect.
and you have him probably at the same spot you had him before he won the chip.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong.
You're
with it.
biased.
No,
That's
because
just-
we know
that's just-
we know
you're
what Curry
biased.
is.
No, you're biased just now. That was just bias. Tatum goes up, but Curry doesn't move a needle. And
Nah,
he
Curry
just
did
had
move
an
up.
historic.
But Curry did move up.
How many spots he moved?
He moved up 2 spots.
So he was at 6 before.
Yeah.
So you got him at 4.
I moved him
Why
up 2
not over
spots.
Luka? He just beat Luka and won the finals.
Because Luka's crazy. Luka can do everything on a court.
So can Steph.
So
Okay.
everything.
What can't he do?
Really not. What can't-
Rebound like Luka
No,
can.
but he can
No,
rebound.
no, Steph can rebound.
But not like.
Steph is-
But, yes, he
Stop,
can
stop.
rebound, but Luka's does it on a
He's a
consistent night
6.
in night
Bro,
basis.
Steph,
But
he's the
that's
best
why he has
rebounding guard in the
height.
league.
Are we counting Luka because he's a guard,
Ah, damn it.
right?
I mean, Luka gets the little. Steph gets down there. He gets gritty.
Shout out to listen. That's not. I'm not trying to.
I mean, he just want to chip.
What he's done.
Okay, but outside of rebounding though,
playmaking.
He can do it.
But he's not better than Luka.
But to be fair, there's stuff Steph can do that Luka can't.
See, but like shoot the basketball.
But you specifically said Steph can't do everything on the court.
He can do everything at a good level. He can do everything.
I apologize. Then my wording was wrong. He can't do it. He can't do everything on the court the way that Luka can.
I mean, there's certain things each other. Luka can't shoot like Steph. Obviously, well,
Luka can let it go.
Stop it.
But he's not Steph Curry. No way, no how.
Luka's not. Steph isn't a playmaker like Luka because he doesn't always have the ball, but
Correct.
he's a really great playmaker. Rebounding, I
Steph's
get it.
a better defender too.
By far.
He's come on great lengths.
I ain't mad at you. I have Luka's forward though. So
exactly.
I just think Steph won the chip. You gotta put him at 3.
I understand it.
Top 3 in the world. I was gonna say 1. You're lucky. I was gonna say 1. You're lucky. I was.
Nah, yeah, that's why when because I thought maybe if Tatum wins he could be top 5, but when you look at the top 5 guys, there's just really no way.
It's
great talent.
It's tough. Even KD, I'm hard. It's hard for me to keep KD out of the top 5.
Like that's not.
I should have put him over LeBron, but LeBron's too good.
Nah,
man.
come on.
As much as I hate that man, he's too fucking.
Can you
good.
stop?
So
Look at your bias right here too.
I want to get your take on this, Drew, because you were the one that picked the Celtics at the start of the playoffs.
Yep.
You picked them to win the finals. So what went wrong for the Celtics, and do you think their championship window was closed?
I'll start with the championship window being closed. Excuse me. I'll say this. I don't believe their championship window is closed. They have a young core still. Jayson Tatum's 24 years old. Jaylen Brown's 25 years old. You keep these two together. You keep that dynamic that they have going on. The two will get better. Jaylen Brown was as great as he was without being a great ball handler. What Jaylen Brown has to do this offseason is simply work on his ball handling, work on going left. If you get Jaylen Brown clean ball handling, he becomes into that conversation of a top 15 player. I do firmly believe that. Now you have Jayson Tatum.
No, just to cut you over quick. You know the top 15 players are like Trae Young, Jimmy Butler, Paul George, those type of players.
But
Ja Moran.
What is
John Moran and Trae are younger than him.
That's going to next season for
Trae
sure.
And Ja are younger than him.
And where we are right now, no, he's not top 15. No way, no how. But right now, I have Jaylen Brown as the top 25.
So I'm saying you think he can walk into that.
He works on his ball handling. He consistently gets better at it, driving to the bucket, and also just slightly works on his playmaking. I'm not as low as everyone else seems to be on Jaylen Brown's playmaking. I just think that he's a little bit too erratic when he's driving to the cup. We spoke about it a little bit on our way here. Jaylen Brown has moments where he's a really good playmaker. He drives to the cup, hits someone very nicely as they're cutting as well. But there's times where he'll drive to the cup, he'll stop, he'll pivot, he'll start to panic a little bit, and then he'll throw up a bad shot. That's the Jaylen Brown that I need to see cleaned up a little bit. And as for Jayson Tatum, he just has to come back with a different mentality. He understands that people are scrutinizing him. This is the first time that he's really having people talk crazy on his name, right? All the Kobe memes, everything that's going on with that. And I find that a little bit egregious too. That's his idol. That's who he looks up to. That's the motivation that he used to drive him. If you guys want to call that corny, that's on you guys, but I find that a little bit irresponsible. But there's moments where, yes, Tatum needs to be bigger. There was moments where he's driving to the cup. He needs to go up more aggressive. He needs to work on his mid-range game. His three-point shot was amazing. There's nothing to say about that. His playmaking was great, and that's a little bit to where I'm going to shift into what went wrong for the Celtics. Jayson Tatum in Game 1 had a bad shooting night, but what he did effectively was defend and playmake. As the series went on, it seemed as if he became more fixated with trying to be the scorer for the Celtics when he didn't necessarily need to be. He was really focusing on trying to get buckets because the conversation was, oh man, he struggled. But, is this something that we have to continue to see? We've seen Jayson Tatum struggle. Is he going to bounce back? And he became so fixated with trying to score the basketball that it kind of took over his mentality and the way that he approached the game. I think that Jayson Tatum cleans that up and he just gives into the fact that, hey, if I'm not going to have it in a certain night, I have guys that I can trust around. But the turnovers, you mentioned it earlier. That's the one thing I look at for the Boston Celtics. And I think that that's where it went wrong for them. They played too tight, and it led to them turning the ball over. Marcus Smart turned over the ball a ton. Jaylen Brown turned over the ball a ton. And Jayson Tatum, who led the postseason in total turnovers, he turned over the ball a ton. And it led to Golden State points off turnovers, just game-breaking shots that the Golden State Warriors were getting because of the Celtics playing so sloppily. You look at it in all the games that they lost. They had over 16 turnovers in all of them. You had in game 2, the Celtics had 19 total turnovers. Game 4, they had 16 total turnovers. In Game 5, the Celtics had 18 total turnovers. And in this most recent Game 6, they had 23 total turnovers. You're not going to win a game like that. You need to be smarter with the ball. You need to be more meticulous with how you're moving the basketball, because there's teams like the Golden State Warriors that feast off opportunity. You can't give teams 23 total more opportunities to facilitate an offense, because they'll put you away. They're too good of a scoring team, and defensively, that's not any discrediting to what Golden State Warriors were doing with the ball. Doing off the ball playing defense. They were fantastic. But at the same time, the Celtics were sloppy, and they just need to come back next season with a cleaner game. And both Tatum and Brown can get better, and I'm expecting them to get better. But no way can I look at this Celtics team and see the season that they just put forth and think that their title chances are closed. Not with the core of Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
It's a nice little core. But I think you missed out a lot of some good names. For me, I don't think the championship window is close. It is. Getting into a championship is really tough. I think especially now that in the East, they're in the Giannis era. Kevin Durant's still one of the best players in the league. So, Brooklyn's going to be there. The Bucks going to be there.
Joel Embiid is coming.
Yeah, he's GOAT. He'll be better than Tatum, by the way. Embiid, still a dog. We always forget him because his team isn't that great, but he's still going to be around. Miami, Jimmy Butler, he's not fading anytime soon.
Scotty Barnes is coming.
So are you saying that these are the names I missed on?
No. Listen, let me talk.
Because I'm not saying that they're necessarily a lock to go. I'm just saying their title chances definitely not
for Boston,
close.
For me, I'm looking at Rob Will, who you didn't mention. I'm looking at Grant Williams, who you didn't mention. Marcus Smart, who you didn't mention. I'm looking at these guys, and I'm thinking Rob Will.
You wanted me to go on for 10 minutes? Would I have been allowed to talk for 10 minutes? I just want to keep
team,
it
bro.
Yeah. Come on, don't do that to me.
I'm looking at Rob Will, and he was on a hobbled knee, giving out extreme effort every time he played. Defensively, you saw the impact. For me, I just want to see him get maybe a little mid-range pop shot, something that could just keep the defense honest.
Who are you talking about here?
Rob Will.
Oh,
keep
yeah,
the
I'm with you there.
If he can get that little mid-range pop shot, so because a lot of times the offense, he's left wide open or he's giving a help defender. If he can get that or a little floater in his game,
I agree.
That'd be huge, a step in the right direction.
Definitely.
But defensively, you want him to be healthy. Grant Williams, just keep working on that jump shot. 3 and D, keep working on that jump shot. Defensively, he improved. Offensively, he was great this year for them in his role. Boston, they're in a great spot because Derek White, Grant Williams, Rob Williams, Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they're all around the same age. Marcus Smart is probably the oldest.
Yep.
Well, aside from Al Horford, but Marcus Smart is probably the oldest out of that group. I think he's like 27, 28. So they're all around the same age. So it's a great time to definitely get that chemistry together. I would like them to bring up a backup point guard, somebody who's a playmaker so they can alternate from Smart to the playmaking role. I don't think they need to go away from Smart. No, just bring in another, not Tyus Jones, but that type of point guard that can run the show.
Well, why not Tyus Jones?
That's what I said.
They can try to get him, but he might offer a little bit, a lot of money. He might want to start somewhere. That's why I said, but
what about Ricky Rubio?
It's crazy. We both tweaked. Yeah, 100%.
I said that. Ricky Rubio.
That was the conversation we had.
Ricky Rubio, somebody like a point guard like that, so they don't have to. I don't think Marcus Smart letting him go is the obvious answer. I think that him starting is cool, but you can just alternate from that type of point guard to a playmaking point guard. Peyton Pritchard was supposed to be that, but he's small, 6 feet, and he's a little bit inconsistent. I think bringing in somebody like Rubio would be huge, but I think this team window isn't closed. I think their window is actually just opening. I think they're going to be in the contender conversation for a long time because Tatum is 24. Jaylen Brown is 25. Jaylen Brown does need to work on his handles. Tatum needs to work on his inside game, mid-range, finishing at the basket. Yes, he's got stronger, but he has to get stronger at finishing. He has to develop a bit more of a layup package. Like people had the little bag, you develop that. Now develop a layup bag. Get the mid-range intact. The three-pointer was good. His playmaking has improved, but just keep improving. Year in, year out, Boston has improved. The two guys have improved. So I think their window will be open for a long time, maybe 5 to 6 years.
Look, it's still open. It's been open. I feel like the most important thing about the Celtics is that they answered one of the more pressing questions that people have had about them for the past couple of years. Can Jaylen Brown
100%.
and Jayson Tatum work?
Yep.
And this season basically ended all those conversations around them. 2 games away from winning the championship, it can work. So now it's about building on it. Now, I thought that Ime showed that he was rookie coach in the series because, especially in Game 6, you have a lineup out there of, at one point in time, it was Payne Pritchard, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Rob Will, and Grant Will.
And this is as they're going on their run in the first quarter.
Yeah, it just, to me, that it didn't make sense. And even though Derek White has been good, he is somebody that's not a very good shooter. Draymond has even mentioned it in his podcast, like, you live with Derek White taking those shots, which is why Tatum in this series struggled, because Golden State defended Tatum the same way the Celtics defended Kevin Durant in the first round. It wasn't anything special. Maybe occasionally they sent a little bit of a trap here, but they put one guy on him, they sagged off other players, and they just helped. And that really put Tatum into a frenzy.
Right.
And he tried to force passes. He tried to force up shots. And now we saw Tatum struggled. But you're right. The biggest thing was turnovers. They had 97 turnovers in this series combined. And there's a stat that says that when they have less than like 15 turnovers, their record is significantly better versus when they have 15 or more. Mm-hmm. So the Celtics' biggest thing is turnovers, and I feel like a backup point guard could help. I thought the Payne Pritchard minutes killed them this series.
Yeah.
Every time Pritchard was on the court, I felt like nothing good happened. He kept on taking really stupid shots that I felt like he had no business taking. Defensively, he offers virtually little to nothing. So I feel like getting somebody who is a better version of him, is defensively good and actually a playmaker, like a Rubio, would be beneficial. And man, if only the players they have could develop like an Aaron Nesmith, and he can actually be a serviceable player.
You're holding on to Aaron?
I hope. Because, look, I like Derek White, but when it comes to matchups, in order for a team to stop helping off players so much, you have to have players around your stars that are knockdown shooters.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Derek White isn't that. Aaron Nesmith is supposed to be that. So if
Grant Williams was supposed to be that, bro.
Let me ask you a question.
So if Aaron Nesmith was just serviceable, he could have filled that role, and he could have taken up those Pritchard minutes and gave them a floor spacer. But because of that, I feel like the window isn't closed. And what I said earlier, the biggest thing was just the amount that they played. Like Tatum, Smart, Brown, and Horford logged 2,000 more minutes than the Warriors' Big Four. And when you take into account the regular season plus the playoffs, the Celtics' Big Four played an equivalent of 176 games versus the Warriors' 136. And Game 6, you saw it. Like, they just looked gassed.
They were leaving, right?
Yeah, they were leaving shooters wide open. They weren't rotating fast enough. And to me, that just looks like fatigue. Do I think the window was closed? No. But is there a possibility that they never go back to the finals? Yes.
Always that possibility.
There's teams that we've talked about in the past that have such bright futures that make the finals, and they don't make it again.
Orlando, they went once. They have not.
It's unfortunate that LeBron was there, but they did beat LeBron to get there. So
they have not been close in damn near 11, 12 years. So like that one window could be, like, not saying Boston's a great team, but that could be this could be their one only window. But I had a question. So you were talking about you need knockdown shooters around it, but do you think that's always the case? Because even against Dallas, they put 4 shooters out there next to Luka, and even then Golden State still just lived or died by them hitting shots. Do you think that's that, or they just need like more guys who can create on their own and be shooters?
Dallas's problem to me wasn't offense, though. Wasn't offense. Their problem to me was defensively, that they didn't have a rim protector to stop anything.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I'm saying even then, Kleber wasn't hitting all the time. Bullock was missing a lot of shots. So you think it's that, or they need just guys who can create? Because even then, maybe if they had a guy who create and also hit that big shot, that would kind of like keep the defense on their heels. I think that would be like.
Well, it's always better to have somebody who's a shot creator and can knock down at an efficient rate. But like, to me, for the Dallas series, at least when I saw their like I'm looking up their numbers right now. I'm looking up what they did. Like, Brunson shot 40% from 3.
Yeah.
Dinwiddie shot 45%. Finney-Smith shot 44%. Bullock shot 41%. Kleber and Bertans were both bad at 26% and 21%. But for the series as a team, they shot 37% from 3 and their offensive rating was 114.6.
Yeah,
and that's one of the top offensive ratings in the league.
I think
it's just their defensive rating was 123.9.
It was that one game I'm thinking of when Bullock went like 0 for 10 and Kleber went like sometimes that works, but sometimes bites you in the ass.
You look at the Celtics.
Like the Celtics, the defense is not a problem.
No.
Like the
They
Celtics
stopped everybody they needed.
The Celtics offensive rating in this series, I believe, was 110.6.
Their last 3 games, though, offensively, they were shit.
Yeah.
No, exactly to your point. The defense of the Celtics is not the problem at all. If Jayson Tatum was Jayson Tatum, who knows how the series goes, really? Him being terrible for his standards.
No. The standards you guys put on him.
I mean, is that not fair, though?
That is fair.
But that's what I'm saying. So you just had to throw that in there?
Of course.
Fair enough. I mean, listen, you're on your high horse right now.
But as long as the core stays together, the window isn't completely closed.
No way.
It's still wide open. And depending on how some people think how good Jaylen Brown can be.
I just want to see a consistent
Tatum
year now.
better.
I want to see Boston be great from start to finish.
They had a taste of what it is to be in that moment.
I would like for finally to see them be great from start. Not all-star break. No, start. Like the season starts in October.
They figured it out.
And shout out to them, but I want to see them now. Elite teams from start to finish are elite teams.
So what's a better duo, Luka and Christian Wood or Tatum and Brown?
What the hell is wrong with
Tatum and Brown?
I don't know what the duo of Luka and Christian Wood is. They haven't done anything yet.
Christian Wood with Harden in 7 games averaged 23 and 10.
I don't care.
He was really good.
Did you just tell me 7 games?
And Harden wasn't even trying in those.
Harden was going to stink it up in the playoffs.
Listen, I'm with you there. I think that Christian Wood's going to be really good with Luka.
I think Luka and Wood is going to be better doing the Tatum and Brown.
I don't know. I have to see them play first.
So
what about Luka and Brunson?
No, but can I ask you, is Christian Wood going to be a top 20 player?
No, Luka and Brunson are
he can
better
be a top 30 player next year.
Wait, what?
I'll go as far to say Christian Wood can be a top 30 player next year.
You'd be trolling.
There's a lot of good players.
He was an all-star. He was playing at an all-star level, bro.
That was 4 years ago.
No, Christian Wood. What are you talking about?
No. That was
literally last season.
Oh, yeah, not this past season. The year before.
Are you talking about when he was playing with James Harden?
Yes.
7 games.
No.
Yes, technically.
The Rockets had national televised games. Shaq was like, I wasn't familiar with the game.
Yeah, but
he was literally on an all-star.
No, I understand what you're saying, but please look at the situation and please look at the team.
Bro, he's playing with Luka.
No, I understand, but just because
top 30
top 30 is crazy, bro.
I don't know.
You know who Jaylen Brown's a top 25 player.
Yo, no cap. I'm gonna say something pretty crazy right now. I think Christian Wood can have a better season than Pascal Siakam next year.
How much you want to put on that?
I think he can have a better statistical season than him next year. I do.
Does that mean he's better?
So
I'm not saying he's
Christian
better.
Wood about to be an All NBA player?
He can be an all-star. I think
he'll be an All NBA.
No, Pascal's an All NBA player.
3rd team, yeah.
Wood isn't close.
What is that?
3rd team is the 15 best players that year.
I wouldn't put it past him to be an All NBA 3rd team. I wouldn't. I really
He's a
would
center,
not.
right?
He's a center power forward, yeah.
Cat,
hybrid.
Joker, Embiid,
AD.
But they're about to make things positionless, though.
Yeah, but that doesn't help Wood at all. He's going to
doesn't.
be a forward or a center.
You said Joker, Embiid.
Cat. That's 3 centers. Even if you want to throw them to the forwards, Kawhi, Paul George, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, DeMar DeRozan. It doesn't get better for him. It literally doesn't. Please, before you push this agenda,
it'll be tough.
Think
it
about
depends if he's logged in at the 4. I give him a better chance.
Are you serious?
See,
yes.
like
I do.
Think about it.
The
Just
thing
think
that sucks
about it,
about
please.
this is that I am with him. That
Top
Christian
30
Wood,
is
that's where he's
crazy.
losing.
I'm
He's
high
getting
on Christian
strong.
Wood.
But there's nothing wrong with being a top 50
But I think
player. There really is nothing wrong with it.
No, it's not.
It's nothing.
Christian Wood's going to be very good next season.
Jaylen Brown's a top 25 player.
Oh, he's not going to be better.
Well, it isn't close.
No, he's not. He's not. Christian Wood was really
not sleeping because he put up numbers on a bad team.
You're going to groom me into that when I'm here telling you that I'm agreeing with you that Christian Wood's going to be good.
Okay, look, I'm on this site. It says top 50 players in the NBA. I'm just going to go from 30 downward.
Yeah. Just go.
So hold up. For example, Julius Randle made an All NBA 2nd team.
He was averaging 24, 11, and like 5.
Is Christian Wood not better than him?
That year, no.
Can Christian Wood not have a better season?
24, 11, and 5?
I don't know, bro. You tell me. You're the Knicks guy. Then Julius Randle was so good that he popped his jersey.
He was the number 1 seed. I mean, he was
Sabonis
number
or
1
Christian
option.
Wood?
Next season?
Statistically, it would probably be Sabonis.
You think so?
Yeah, probably.
I actually think that Christian Wood will be better than him next season.
Okay. So these are the top. I'm getting to the top 30
I also
players.
don't think Sabonis is top 35.
Okay, top 30 players. Rudy Gobert,
No.
according to this.
I would take Rudy.
Pascal
take
is
Pascal.
29.
I would take Pascal.
Cat is 28.
Okay, I would take Cat, obviously.
LaMelo's 27.
Yeah, bro, there's no way he's
Chris
cracking.
Middleton's 26.
Nope.
And then top 25 is AD.
Name 30.
Jaylen Brown.
No, name between 30
Bam
and
Adebayo.
35.
Okay, I'll just do that.
Yeah, do that because you can see who's.
Okay,
I can't
I'm just
believe
going to
we're
name
talking
from
about
50 to 30, all right? So Tyrese Halliburton is 50 on this list.
Halliburton will be better next year.
Jared Allen is 49.
Oh, my God.
I would take Jared.
Cade Cunningham's 48.
Cade would be better.
Christian Wood's 47. He actually made this list at 47.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I know, that's
where he's
not
at.
crazy.
That's fine where he's at, bro. I swear to God, that's fine.
Miles Bridges is 46.
Oh, my God. Are you serious?
Why are you so low on Miles?
Christian Wood could be a top 40 player. He could be a top 40.
could
Now
be
with
a top 30.
these rookies will be better than
SGA is 45.
Exactly. Come on.
There's so many good players in the NBA.
But you think
I think
SGA
he's
is like
higher.
top 25?
Top 25. Yeah, I do. Top 25. I think
Ben
he's better
Simmons
than
is
LaMelo.
44. De'Aaron Fox is 43.
Honestly, LaMelo and SGA should switch.
Julius Randle's
Stop
42.
it.
Garland's 41.
Come on. Look at
Drew Holiday is 40. Draymond's 39. Brandon Ingram's 38. Sabonis is 37.
Sabonis too high.
DeJounte's 36.
Tough.
Ayton is 35.
Too high.
Nikola Vucevic is 34.
Oh, my God. Drop him.
Jamal Murray's 33.
Okay, he hasn't played. this far.
Ant-Man is 32.
Should be a little higher.
Clay is 31.
Okay, that's fine.
Rudy's 30.
See, you think what? It's not a
lot
lot
of
of
good
guys.
players.
He's gonna be better than that you just named.
A lot of
maybe
good
like
players.
3.
No, actually, a lot of the guys I named, I think he can have a better season than. Absolutely.
Because of
You
situation.
don't think he can? You don't think he can have better stats than Chris Middleton?
Better stats? Sure. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Middleton's
26. He's
5.
26.
But there's a lot of young players that were in that 50 to 40 range.
Oh
that
yeah,
could
they
be
can
higher.
ascend, but Christian Wood is also not done getting better.
I don't disagree, but I just think that the
27.
ceiling of SGA,
What does that
Cade
mean?
Cunningham.
You love to play the age card. He's 27.
Chill, but he's shown that he's been
No,
good.
but he
though.
loves to play the age
Yeah,
card.
but at the same time, he's never been like
Bro,
John
Christian
Tortorelli
Wood
said. This
with
is his first
Christian
NBA team.
Wood averaged 23
who?
and 10 with Harden.
With no. What team?
The Rockets.
Rockets.
What were their record?
They weren't good.
Well, after the Harden trade, they did win 5 games in a
They
row
did.
with him.
Oh, what was their record? To end
Then
the
they
season?
dropped off because they got hurt, and they just weren't that good.
I
But,
just want to see him in a good situation. This is a good situation. I would like to see what he looks like.
okay, I understand what you're saying, bro, but let's not act like Christian Wood's some scrub, though.
No, he's not. But I don't think top 40 is a scrub.
But
Bro,
again, we're not
What's-
disrespecting.
okay, 2020.
Love-
This is the last thing I'm
Yeah,
saying
I was
about
gonna
All right,
it.
go ahead.
2020, he averaged 21, 10, and 2 assists with 1 block. Shot 51% from field and 37% from 3.
That's good.
That's
This
a bucket.
past season, 68 games, he averaged 18. Mind you, he
No.
wasn't playing.
Don't give me the money. Just say the numbers.
Okay. I'm gonna say the numbers, but
Okay.
let me finish. Though.
Okay,
Let
go
me
ahead.
let me
Go
talk. He averaged 18, 10 rebounds and a block, 50% from the field, 39% from 3. This was with no fucking point guard. He played with Kevin Porter Jr., bro.
Okay.
Like, imagine he had a point guard.
Right.
He's averaging 20.
Okay.
Like with Luka, he's averaging 20 to 23.
Okay. 23.
He could.
Yes.
With Jalen Brunson, Spencer Dinwiddie. Let's think about it
He
now.
could.
He
Yes.
could average 23.
He could.
Yes.
Okay. With
The
Tim Hardaway
Mavericks-
Jr. and all
He'll
them.
be the second best player on the Mavs next season.
Interesting.
Barring that they don't add anyone else.
Jalen Brunson. He'll be better than
He'll be
Jalen
better
Brunson.
than Jalen Brunson.
Bro, the Mavericks were 24th in points per game last year. This
Interesting.
past season.
Okay. All right. So check this out. You think he'll be top 30.
Yes.
You're calling us disrespectful.
I think he'll. Okay.
Because we don't think he'll
maybe,
be top 30.
Maybe, okay. You know what? Let me revise my
yeah,
statement,
please.
right?
That's
Thank
what we're
you.
asking.
Maybe he doesn't. Maybe there are 30 players that you might take over Christian Wood at the end of the
No,
season.
not more than
But
not 30,
I am
40.
guaranteeing he will have a top 30 statistical season.
Okay.
Guaranteed.
That's fine.
He'll have a top 30 statistical season.
That's a better wording. I still disagree.
It's the same thing.
It's
You're
not.
just
Just because you're statistically
at
better
it.
doesn't mean you're better. You know that.
Do I?
I don't know. I mean,
Do I?
You just
Like-
you spewed out his numbers. They're probably just better than Drew Holiday. I don't think you think he's better than Drew Holiday. I mean, maybe you do. I don't think you do, though. I think you're.
No, you're right.
I know.
True, but it's also about fit. It's also about team and roles.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
So let's see his fit.
Like, for example, I really don't think there's like this huge gap between
Oh, God.
Siakam and Wood, bro. I don't
Siakam
think
is
so.
a number 1 on a playoff team. It's different. I think if you put Wood in that role, I don't know what he'd be.
Siakam is such a strong player to use.
Why are you disrespecting Siakam?
I know.
I'm
I
not
don't
trying
like
to disrespect
that.
Siakam. I
He's
just
a
feel
guy
like
who can guard 1 through 5. He can space the floor. He can.
No, you're funny because you used to disrespect Siakam so much. Now you're
Then he
on
got
this.
better.
Come on, can you stop that?
but-
Why you
but
bring
I'm
up the
saying-
pass?
So you don't think if Christian Wood and Siakam change roles, you don't think he's averaging 22.8 points per game?
You do remember Siakam was hurt at the beginning of the year.
Okay, last year averaged 21.4.
Okay.
So you don't think Christian Wood can do that?
As the number one?
Yes, on the
That means
team
he gets the ball.
that has a point guard in Fred VanVleet on it.
Does Toronto make the playoffs? I think that's the thing for
They
me.
can make the playoffs. Yeah.
Can Wood guard 1 through 5? No.
No, he can't guard as well as Siakam.
I know he can.
He's not a cone out there.
But that's
Christian Wood can
it's
can
more
defend at
than
a pretty
just
good level.
like Siakam is a guy who can guard 1 through 5.
Oh yeah, I know.
Do
He's a Siakam. I understand he's a significantly better
player.
playmaker. He's
player.
But let me just go through the facets. I know Siakam is a significantly better playmaker.
Defender.
He's a better ball handler. He's a better defender. But we're talking about spacing the floor and shooting. Christian Wood is better. Talking about playing in the pick and roll and rolling, he's a better roller as well. Like the fit with Luka, I would rather Christian Wood with Luka than Pascal with Luka.
I agree. I agree with you. But you're comparing a number one guy on a playoff team to a guy who hasn't played in a good situation ever, realistically.
That's not his fault though.
But he's projecting right now, and
that's not his fault. But
you can't overly
you using Siakam as the basis for your argument? It's just like he's an All NBA player.
No, I'm using Siakam because he's.
I don't like it though.
Okay, but I'm gonna tell you why I'm using Siakam.
You just told me already.
Why?
Because you just said he's not as good of a roller. He's not as good of a spacer.
You just listened to the facets of the games I was talking about. I'm using Siakam because he was the last forward to make the All NBA third team. So.
There's 2 forwards and 3 forwards.
You know what I'm talking about, though. The forwards were LeBron and KD, right, on the third team, or it was LeBron.
KD was second.
Well, we know LeBron is not a third team.
Oh no, I understand.
So
I understand what you're saying.
Pascal was the last of the guys to make the team.
What I'm saying is PG and Kawhi didn't play, which means those are 2 guys that will be on. That's why I'm saying he won't make. Like you were saying, he could possibly make it. I don't know because you see Pascal got in, but PG and Kawhi didn't play.
Okay. I use Pascal Siakam as a measuring stick because he's one of those guys that he's an all-star, yes, but he's like a fringe where that place can be replaced.
He was just all NBA, man.
Julius Randle's all NBA. What
this season was kind of crazy.
But he's been consistently good, Pascal
Siakam. wasn't even an all-star in 2020-21, bro.
Okay, that's fine. He
wasn't even an all-star this season. You know that, right?
His second half was elite.
I know.
His
second half. So what does that have to do with anything?
No, I'm saying, but like Pascal Siakam,
he was a snub for the all-star.
I'm just saying,
actually.
if he's an all-star, he's that guy that gets replaced. That's like making it year in year out. Like
so
Chris
Pascal
Middleton.
Siakam after the All-Star break averaged 25, 8, and 6.
He's nuts.
That's why,
Chris Middleton is an all-star, but we know from year to year he might not be it. You know what I'm saying? Like, would you guarantee Pascal being an all-star next season? You think that's just locked and sealed? Oh yeah, Pascal, regular all-star, he'll be there every other year.
Damn.
Nah, right? You don't.
Nah.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm comparing Wood to Siakam. That's why, because I think Wood is an all-star level player, and Siakam is a fringe one.
Okay.
So that's why I made that comparison.
You think Wood is a fringe with Siakam?
I think Wood is a fringe. Like I said, I think Siakam's a better player. I never said he's not a better player. I am just saying with Luka, Christian Wood could average better numbers.
Which means he can look better than what he actually is because he's with Luka.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I never said
that's a fact.
No.
I just want to make sure we're all clear. All right, that's fair.
I never said you couldn't, but I'm just saying I really love the trade. I'm just saying, I know we weren't really going to talk about it, but we're on the subject already. They gave up nothing for him.
Yeah, they virtually gave him
They
nothing.
gave up Trey Burke, Sterling Brown, Boban, who is a funny guy and probably a great locker room presence, but doesn't really do anything on the court, and the 26th pick in the draft. They gave up nothing for Christian Wood, and Christian Wood is somebody who I know he's had his character issues in the past, but
they said the same thing about Spencer Dinwiddie in Washington. He was perfectly fine fit in Dallas.
I'm glad you said that because when they traded for Bertans and Dinwiddie, people were like, this is a bad trade. I thought it was great because they need another guard. Christian Wood is exactly what the Mavericks need right now. It's exactly what they need. If he can, I know that Wood has like a big ego. He thinks a lot about himself, which you're supposed to have that confidence.
Agreed.
But if he can understand, like, you know what, Luka is the guy, which he should do that. I see no reason why he's not 23-10 next year. I don't. And like one to 1.5 blocks per game.
He could do that.
Like there's no reason why he's not that.
We'll see.
23-10.
23-10 with a block.
He could put up AD like numbers.
Okay. AD at his worst. AD at his worst.
He was actually about to take AD's All-Star spot. He actually should have taken AD's All-Star spot in 2020.
It's a shame he didn't.
2021. He should have taken his spot. I'm not going to lie.
We see what a healthy AD does, so next topic.
No, we don't.
What do you mean? No, we don't. Yeah, smart. Let's go.
Yeah. I hope they do keep Brunson, though. If they keep Brunson, this team can be a contender, championship contender.
Or they go and they get Donovan.
Man.
Championship contender.
You know what's the thing? You know what's the thing about Riv is that this is what I love about Riv. Riv is the guy that he's not a projector. He's not a projector.
You're not.
He's more of an LED screen. You got to just have it already there. You know, you have to you like resumes, but you don't project players.
You know what? I told you the other day. I said starting next year, I will project. I promise it. On this podcast, I will be a new man. I'm going to project a lot this year coming up.
Listen, you projected Tyrese Maxey was going to have a huge breakout. You do project, but you pick and choose. You know what I'm saying? You have your moments.
You project based on players you actually like a lot.
Yes.
Like you'll only do it for like Maxey you liked a lot.
That's normal.
Cam Reddish you do it, but like if somebody mentions a name and you aren't too familiar, you're just gonna discount it and not.
I wouldn't say
think
familiar. Yeah, familiar is also like you know the game. You know all these guys.
Not just gotta show me, man. Gotta show me. I'm gonna project next year. I got y'all.
Like D Book.
What about it?
Went last year.
Oh, I was like, he got to show me. Yeah. And then what did he do in Game 7? Show me for real.
Can you stop it?
You
Yeah,
guys,
240.
But he also jinxes because of you bullying about the D Book thing. He decided to believe in Zach, and Zach let him down.
Zach undoubtedly let me down. You see when I fucking project?
He was hurt though.
Stop it.
Zach was hurt.
You know I don't care if you're hurt if you're playing.
Okay,
you know that.
Fine, but I mean Zach is on your team.
He is, but this is why I don't project because the shit backflips on me, and then he play like
It
garbage.
is what it is. Projecting allows you to either look dumb or look like a genius.
Well,
take the L. It is what it is. That's life.
Nah, I'd rather see it and then.
Does anyone go through life and have 100% win?
I would rather see it and then make my projection of that. Than nothing and then just project on nothing. That's how you get Lakers 65 wins.
I mean, it's AD, LeBron James, Russell Westbrook. Like, that's not nothing. History showed me that these three are Hall of Famers. They're great.
Oh, history has never shown you that they play together and they'll be successful.
That was an L for me.
Nothing. Kings, nothing.
They had talent on their squad. They're young.
They've never been good.
Projecting.
Nothing.
Well, but you take the chance on that.
So a couple of weeks ago, we went viral for the Tatum and Kawhi thing that went on TikTok and also on YouTube. People responded to it, and people kind of want to hear the answer to that response, and we'll answer to it in a different way. For one, two 3-part questions. Is Jayson Tatum a top 10 player? 1. Is he overrated? 2. Are you still taking him over Kawhi? 3. So now, Drew, I'm going to let you answer first, or unless you want to go first, Riv, you can go first.
Yeah, I'm
Floor
fine
is yours,
answering.
Boston guy.
All right, so is Jayson Tatum a top 10 player? Yes. Is Jayson Tatum overrated? No. Is he better than Kawhi? Right now, I guess the answer would be no, but going forward, I would 100% take Jayson Tatum.
So do you in that video that people saw, do you take anything back in that video?
No, because everything I said is fine. I'm more than okay with everything I said. It looks bad because Jayson Tatum was bad in the NBA Finals. Fact. I don't care. It is what it is. I see Jayson Tatum, and I understand what he can be. At this age, he's already shown that he can do it at a high level. However, in the biggest moment of his career thus far, he didn't show up. Here's a news flash. There's been one player in finals history to not fold. It's Michael Jordan. Did we ever sit here and say that Jayson Tatum's Michael Jordan? No. We understand that Jayson Tatum is a young guy who has... Okay, but he was not the best player in a finals.
Oh, that's what you meant. Oh,
no, but didn't fold also. I wouldn't say Shaq folded necessarily, but D-Wade was significantly better than him. And D-Wade's the reason they won.
I would say D-Wade, peak D-Wade, never folded too.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine with that also because also in 2011, he did not fold. He was the best player on the Heat that season. But Jayson Tatum at this young age has shown a tremendous amount. Led the league in the playoffs in points and assists. The youngest player to ever do that. That is impressive. Now, he also did lead the playoffs in turnovers as well, which is not impressive. He has things that he has to work on. That's every player in the NBA. I'm fine with everything. Do I think he's overrated? No. At this age, to be doing what he's doing, that is amazing. But again, I can't look at just his age and automatically look at the finals and just throw it aside. No, that happened. That's on your resume. You're going to have to work to fix that, of course. LeBron in his first finals was not that good. But again, they played a box and one on him because who else are you going to defend on that? The difference between that is now Tatum's 2 years older, and the supporting cast that Tatum had around him was significantly better than that LeBron had.
You know who also else played in his first finals at 24? Dwayne Wade.
And Dwayne Wade was amazing, for sure. But Tatum has his ways to go. And I think that off one series, I'm not going to completely sell my stock in Jayson Tatum. Of course, this was not his best showing by any means, but he showed throughout this playoffs that he is more than capable of bounce-back games, which he showed in Milwaukee, where he had his signature performance in Game 6. He showed in Miami, where Jimmy Butler was at times the best player in the series. Joel believes that he's the best player in the series. I don't have too much argument against that. But down the stretch of that Game 7, Jayson Tatum was taking it to the Heat and hitting huge shot after huge shot. I think that I'm not going to overanalyze the finals, even though it's the biggest moment and it was supposed to be his coming out party. He will be fine going forward, and I'm completely fine with all my statements that I've made with Jayson Tatum.
Is Jayson Tatum a top 10 player? Yeah, I believe so. Is he overrated? A little bit, but not too crazy. But I think he was getting a little bit overrated in the sense that they were trying to put him in the conversation as being the guy already when he hasn't actually won the big thing, and they were trying to put him on this type of pedestal, but he hasn't actually done anything yet. So I think he was just a little bit slightly overrated, but nothing crazy. Do I think Jayson Tatum is better than Kawhi? No, I never thought it. I don't think it. I still think Jayson Tatum has the room to grow. Like Drew said, I think Tatum has ways to go. And I think, when you look at the whole playoffs, it's something about a superstar playing against a superstar. You look at the guys he's going to be matched up with, of course, for the next 2-3 seasons. Jimmy Butler, Joel Embiid, Luka Doncic, Giannis. Steph Curry, It says something when you go into a finals. Even in going to the ECF, Jimmy Butler was the best player in the Eastern Conference Finals, I believe. I think he played amazing on both ends of the floor. I think offensively, he stuck it too, especially that Game 6 in Boston. That was insane.
Fantastic. One of the best performances.
Going that and then going into the finals and then Steph significantly being better than you by a large margin. I think that kind of puts the separator, and there is a different class to the superstar thing. There's the guys that's done it, and then the guys that's coming up. So I think even Luka Doncic, he hasn't done it, but you've never once questioned who was the best player in this. Even though Kawhi's been amazing, Luka was right there with him. Against Phoenix, Luka was the best player in that series, against Utah. So he played Kawhi twice. He was right there with him. Some can even argue he significantly sometimes played better than him. So I think, there's a certain gap between the type of superstars, the tier 1 superstars and the tier 2 superstars where there's a certain level. So I think that in that sense, Tatum was getting a little bit overrated. He was getting put into that room up to stop when he's still in this room right here, which is the next level. So I still think Kawhi is better. Tatum is a little bit overrated, but he's a top 10 player.
So because and you're still on the fence of him being a superstar.
No, I was trolling with you guys.
Okay.
He's a tier 2 superstar, I would like to put it. So he's like 8 to 10.
Perfectly said.
Like he's there, but he's not there.
I agree.
When talking about Jayson Tatum, it's listen. Jayson Tatum's finals performance does nothing for me in terms of where I rank him after. He had a phenomenal playoff run.
He was.
Now, had he been great in the finals and then won a championship, yes, you propel him further because he just did something historic. But when looking at the history of players that have been this young and they've been in the finals or have even, made some kind of playoff runs, let's just look at star players in general. Jayson Tatum for the first 3 playoff series, he beats KD, he beats Giannis, he beats Jimmy Butler. He's having an all-time great run. It's just in the finals where he plays poorly. LeBron, first finals, averaged 22, 7, and 7. The same numbers as Tatum. He averaged 36. He shot 36% from the field. The same number, 1% less than Jayson Tatum. LeBron's second finals, he averaged 18 points per game, choked against Dallas. Yes, you have your anomalies like Dwayne Wade, who play phenomenal, but Dwayne Wade is the exception, not the rule. Yes, you have your anomalies like Kevin Durant, that in 2012, he goes toe-to-toe with LeBron. The exception, not the rule. Jayson Tatum struggled. It's as simple as that. He was dealing with a shoulder injury. I'm not going to use that as an excuse. Is he overrated? Depends on who you ask. There are some people that think Tatum is better than where he should be ranked. But to me, he's still a borderline top 10 player. If we look at, this is my top 10, and I'm going to take into account players that are also injured, that are coming back next year. So that includes Kawhi and Dame. This is my top 10. It's Giannis, it's Jokic, it's Curry, it's Luka, it's LeBron, it's Kawhi. Let me go back. Let me do it again. It's Giannis, Jokic, Curry, Luka, LeBron, Embiid, Kawhi, KD, Jimmy Butler, and Tatum. So Jayson Tatum's 10 for me.
You have KD where?
I have him 8.
Under Embiid.
And Kawhi.
Oh.
Yep.
So going forward, that's why I'm curious. So going forward, you're taking Kawhi next season?
I think Kawhi, because there's a chance the Clippers are going to be favorites to win the championship. And I like the roster. There's a chance the Clippers are holding up that trophy next year. And I got to take that into account.
You said in the video, I remember this now. I'm glad you said that because it just popped up in my brain. You said Tatum could be better than Kawhi as early as next season.
Yep.
Which means the season that's about to come up.
Yep.
But now you think with the Clippers possibly holding up the trophy, it changed your outlook on Kawhi versus Tatum.
Yeah, because the Clippers, for one, I think have a better roster than the Celtics. Number 2, I think Paul George is better than Jaylen Brown.
Easily.
Paul George to me is 11. Dame is
like 13,
12, 13. It depends. I kind of like Trae Young more than Dame. So I'd put Trae Young at 12. I'd put Dame at 13. But we also have to say, like, Damian Lillard faced the Warriors in 2019 in the conference finals with no KD, got swept, had the same numbers as Tatum outside of shooting that efficient from 3. Tatum shot 45% from 3.
Yeah, that was a wild.
Dame shot 37% from 3 versus the Warriors in the conference finals. So, like, let's not act like Tatum is the first superstar to struggle. But for some reason, Tatum struggles, and now he is not a superstar. He's not top 10.
The memes destroyed
They
him.
did the same thing with Paul George in a bubble. They did the same thing with Paul George in a bubble. They do the same thing with other players. Look, it's Tatum is still that guy. He's top 10, and he's 24. He's the 10th best player in the NBA at 24 years old. That's something to be proud about. And considering depending on how he bounces back this upcoming season, he could be higher. You know, there's a world where the Celtics are back in his position next year.
I think he'll have a great regular season, but I think everybody's just going to wait to the playoffs to see how he responds to that finals. You know, I think regular season at this point, nobody's going to care what he does in the regular season. It's really about just how do you bounce back in the playoffs.
Agreed.
But
when you get to that level, it's not about the regular season.
So why? I've noticed this about you, though.
Talk to me.
You're kind of lower on Embiid.
I am very low on Embiid.
He just finished top 3 in MVP voting in back-to-back years, and
then lost in the second round again.
His team is not that good, bro.
What about last year?
What do you mean last year?
When he choked against Atlanta.
Ben Simmons?
Nah, he choked. He also did choke.
He had like 8 turnovers that game.
No, Embiid was gassed. You're right.
Gassed. Wow.
But
we're using
he also
the gas
didn't have
thing.
much help
the
around
best athletes in the world, gassed.
I know. Listen, what did you have, Embiid?
8.
No, 7.
KD's
7.
at 8.
7.
KD's at 8.
I'm fine with that.
I actually have a
I have
No, Embiid's at 6. Kawhi's at 7.
No, you did have Embiid at 6.
I have, yeah.
I would have Embiid at 7.
I have Embiid at 8.
I would have Embiid at 7.
I have Kawhi at 7, KD at 6.
Joel Embiid in that series versus the Hawks averaged 30, 13, and 4 with 2 blocks and a steal.
Read out his turnovers.
He shot 47% from the field and 36% from 3. His second best player was Seth. He averaged 21.
Oh, Seth. Shout out to Seth. Seth was amazing.
Dog shit this
and
year.
he had 33 turnovers in 7 games. So that's like what?
I think one game he had like 8.
A little bit more than 4.
That's 4.7 turnovers a game.
It's not great.
So that's a lot of turnovers, but they were also heavily trapping him.
That's his weakness in the game.
something, though, that's something that Joel Embiid came into the season and he was better at. He was a better passer this season.
He was.
That was
For
a big
sure.
weakness.
So that's why, like, Embiid to me, like, come
I'm
on.
not low on Embiid, though. He's 8. What's wrong with 8?
There's a world where I can see Kawhi over Embiid.
I was going to say, you
I
have
have
6.
Kawhi and
I have
KD.
7. He has 8. I'm fine with it.
You have him over KD and Kawhi. I don't. That's all. That's really the difference. I don't think there's a world Embiid is better than KD. It's just me, though.
I mean, I can see it. I'm not going to dispute that too much.
I mean, it's really like it's so tough with the top 10 guys because you can outside of the 5 or 6, you can. The order is crazy.
KD at 8.
KD at 8 is crazy.
That's strong.
KD, there's not 7 basketball players better.
That's
than
strong.
Kevin Durant.
Like
Giannis,
is Kawhi better?
Jokic.
Is Kawhi better?
Kawhi is better than KD.
I don't know.
Kawhi has done more than KD as of recently.
Last season, we can't just look at last season and not see what KD did in the
Don't you have
backpacking.
Embiid over Kawhi though?
I do have Embiid over Kawhi.
What has Embiid done more than Kawhi?
Top 3 in MVP voting past 2 seasons.
I mean,
He's been runner-up, literally.
Is that something though?
That is something. That is definitely something.
I thought you were talking about like the playoffs. That's why.
I mean, he averaged freaking 30.
Kawhi got to the WCF, bro.
No, Paul George got there.
That's true.
If Kawhi's there, man, they go to the finals.
Facts.
Crazy.
But if KD doesn't get, KD was, it's so tough because KD he be right there in the MVP race. Didn't he get hurt?
Facts.
Then his
and he
team
was a centimeter away from the ECF, probably.
So,
the
so
finals.
would you like my top 10 to be? Would my top 10 be better if it's Giannis, Jokic, Curry, Luka, LeBron?
No, your top 10 is your top 10. What do you?
KD, Kawhi, Embiid, Butler, and Tatum.
Your top 10 is your top 10. Do you base it off? Do you like? Because I use the last 2 seasons as a measuring stick for my top 10.
And you have PG over Jimmy Butler?
I have
Jimmy Butler over Paul George.
I
have PG. Over
Understandable as well.
I have Butler at 11.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
How I base it on?
Butler at 11.
PG at 10.
I base it on.
No, I lied.
Tatum at 9?
Yes.
Okay.
I base it on what you've done, but I also base it on who I have on my team too.
Oh, okay. So I get what you're saying.
So because if you're talking about Embiid not getting out the second round, Jokic has lost in the first round twice already.
But I also didn't. That's when I throw the context in.
So can I ask you a question? 2019 Kawhi or let's say 2017 KD. Who would you rather have?
2019 Kawhi.
That's strong. But I get it.
Kawhi went to a new team and won a championship.
I don't
his
disagree.
First year.
No, he was amazing.
Yeah.
KD is healthy. Do you think they win?
No, because the Warriors were freaking legendary.
Yeah.
They were unfair. But
20
Kawhi had a historic playoff run.
He did.
He had an unbelievable player.
And literally brought the city of Toronto their first championship ever.
What he did was unbelievably
Toronto,
great.
I mean, 2017. The
Like,
Warriors pretty
KD
much
has done
dog
nothing
walked.
in Brooklyn yet.
How about this? 2019 Kawhi Leonard or last season's Kevin Durant?
2019 Kawhi.
That last season KD in the playoffs was crazy.
Second round exit. I would never
Fair.
take a second round exit over a
But
champion.
I'm talking player, not the run, the player.
Kawhi's run was crazy.
Okay, but we're not talking runs because run is clear. But we're talking player.
Kawhi averaged 29 in the finals.
He was great. He was great. But Kevin Durant went otherworldly against the NBA championship, soon to be. Champions, soon to be.
Lean KD, maybe? I don't know.
Defensively, that's where Kawhi makes that.
Clear. It's clear.
In the playoffs, Kawhi
takes that step
back
over
to that
KD.
defensive guy. So.
Yeah, it's true.
It's just right now I can't.
That's a good conversation.
Right now I can't put Kawhi over KD or Embiid because he's
Injury?
coming off an
Yeah.
ACL.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm similar.
I think we all have around the same cute little list.
Cute.
Yeah.
So we're gonna end the show on this. I'm actually gonna ask you some trivia questions and let me know your thoughts on
no,
it.
would you rather today?
No,
That's
it's
what
you
it is
rather,
right
bro.
now.
I mean, this week in the NBA.
Yeah. No, this week
I mean,
in the
this
NBA.
is this week
was-
in the NBA is the NBA Finals.
So somebody tweeted this and Kevin Durant actually responded to it.
Oh boy.
Somebody tweeted, Kevin Durant's legacy just died. He's now just the guy between Harrison Barnes and Andrew Wiggins, the guy who left the Beatles. Now, what's your reaction to that tweet?
I'm not a KD fan myself. I've been very adamant on that. I don't like Kevin Durant. I think that what he did joining the Golden State's the weakest move in sports history. That being said, that is very rude. I can even acknowledge that. However, I can't ignore the fact that what Kevin Durant did was very weak. And the fact that he is, talent-wise, one of the best players we've ever seen in our lifetimes, or will see in our lifetimes. For him to do what he did with Golden State definitely does tarnish his legacy tremendously.
He's a casual. Kevin Durant, before he went to the Warriors, was top 3 in the world. Kevin Durant, after he went to the Warriors, was top 5 in the world.
For sure.
Kevin Durant is still top 6, 7 in the world. Top 15 player of all time. So he's top 5 player in our era. He's just a casual.
But
that is hilarious, though.
No, what he's saying is just the meanest way to say what I just said.
As much as I love Steph, Kevin Durant won the 2 Finals MVPs. So
Yeah, but it's also saying that tweet is also saying that all the Warriors needed to win a championship was a small forward that is starter level. Harrison Barnes was starter level. Andrew Wiggins is above that. He started in the All-Star game, although I don't think he should have started, but Andrew Wiggins is very good.
I can't slander that anymore. He was just unbelievable in the playoffs.
That's still
They got
disrespectful.
KD. KD made them overwhelming favorites.
I agree.
But had the Warriors gotten like a Paul George, they still win the championship.
But he said KD is now just the guy that's known for being the guy between Harrison Barnes and Andrew Wiggins.
He's getting very rude.
Like he's not just known for that.
He's saying the meanest way of what I just said.
I'm not a Warriors fan myself, but from what I've seen on Twitter, Warriors fans do not like Kevin Durant, and they do not appreciate him. Warriors fans, to me, feel like they appreciate Andrew Wiggins more than KD, and KD won 2 Finals MVPs with that team.
Yeah, I see. I be seeing a lot of it. Warriors versus KD Twitter is lit
because KD likes to get active.
I love it.
I feel like KD puts himself in situations that he shouldn't be in.
He does. But he likes it.
He does.
Now these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are 7 big threes. Let me know what you think about them in order. So Steph, Clay, and Dre. So these are some of the best big threes in the history of the game. Steph, Clay, and Dre, Tim Duncan, Tony, Manu, Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, Magic, Kareem, Worthy, Bird, Mikal, Parrish, Isaiah, Dumars, Lambeer, LeBron, Wade, Bosh. So
you're asking a lot of us to memorize. However, just off trying to,
I'm going off what accomplished more.
So I'm going number 1. I don't know if you agree. Michael,
Tim Duncan.
Wow. Michael, Pippen, and Rodman.
Before you go, let me just order it for you.
Thank you.
So then you can have an easier time naming it.
Thank you very much.
So, okay.
That's crazy.
Naming it in order.
Are we doing who accomplished the most?
No, it's just
naming it in order. It's Warriors. To just talk about, these are the teams these big threes played for. Warriors, Spurs, Bulls, Lakers, Celtics, Pistons, Miami Heat. So 1 through 7, what do you think? Or who do you think makes the top 5 and gets left out?
All right, so I'm going to do no order.
Okay.
Warriors, Bulls, Spurs, Magic, so the Lakers.
The Lakers, agreed.
I'm going to have to go Bird.
So the Heat miss it?
Yes.
I agree.
Underachieved.
Well, I think for one, the Pistons miss it.
I agree.
The Pistons miss it. That big 3 is not as good as these big 3s.
They only won 2.
I'm not going to go by accomplishments.
I'm
gonna go by which big 3 talent wise do I think is the best of all.
I think that goes into the accomplishing though.
I think in terms of talent, I think if we're talking about peak, like peak for peak,
it has to be.
The Heat have to be up there.
No,
Dwayne and LeBron.
Magic, Worthy, and Kareem, right?
Magic, Worthy,
they're number 1.
Okay.
Yeah,
Magic, Worthy, Kareem. So the Lakers.
I'm not saying number 1. I'm saying they have to be in the top 5.
Yeah, no, they're number 1.
So the Lakers, I'm going with the Miami Heat next.
Where are the Bulls? The Bulls.
Oh, yeah,
the Bulls are 3 for me. The Warriors are 4, and the Spurs are 5.
Are you saying the Bulls are 3 because Dennis Rodman wasn't that good?
Strong also.
No, the Bulls are. I had them at 3.
Yeah.
Rodman was great. I'm not saying he's not that good.
He was
really good.
He was, but in '98 he got benched, and he had a significant drop off in the middle of the season.
Well,
Pippen wasn't that good either.
Rodman is the weak link, like Rodman or Bosh. I'm going Bosh.
Yeah, and Pippen in
Wade or
'98 wasn't
Pippen.
that good.
I'm going Wade. Prime for prime. I'm going Wade.
That's what I think.
That's why I say. But overall, you have to respect what they accomplished on top of their.
He
talent.
said he's not going off.
But you have to mesh the both. You have to mesh the both of them, which is why I would go number 1, the Bulls. Number 2, the Lakers. Number 3, I would go the Heat. Number 4, I'd go Warriors. Number 5, I'd go
Spurs. The Spurs.
Yeah.
If you're going off accomplishments, the Spurs are first because Rodman, Jordan, and Pippen won 3. They didn't win
for
6.
sure.
Like
but I'm also
the Spurs
won
won 5.
But that's why
actually
I don't
the
have
Warriors
them.
and the Spurs have to be 1 and 2
Yeah.
if you go to accomplishments.
That's why I'm not doing that.
So I'm gonna try to mesh the both, and I'm gonna say, in terms of accomplishments and dominance and peak for peak, Bulls 1. I gotta go to Lakers 2.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta do Warriors 3.
Bias, come on.
4 Spurs. 5 Miami. If I'm meshing everything together, Spurs and the Warriors have the longevity and the records. The Bulls have the shortness, but they have the second most wins of the season. And then Magic, Kareem, I don't really got to talk about that too much.
So the two teams that don't make it are the Pistons. I feel like the Pistons are an easy one, and the Celtics.
Celtics are tough. That's the one I debate.
McHale and Parrish, as good as they was, they probably have the second, like in terms of second guy, the least talented. So yeah, I would probably say
Really?
McHale
or Tony?
Oh yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I think. At 5, I would go Celtics.
but the Spurs, they won more. That's what
They
puts
won
them
more.
over. Yeah,
They won one more.
Hey man, that's tough.
Oh,
They won one. They only
yeah,
won.
They did win one more.
Yeah, they
TP got a Finals MVP.
He's like that.
Respect. Yeah, that'd be my. So yeah, so Bulls.
Cedric Maxwell won a.
That's their fault.
I know.
That's
I
Larry
know.
Bird.
I know.
fault.
I'm just thinking that's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's a tough. Yeah, Detroit. You could have put somebody else over Detroit. Maybe the Kobe Powell, Ron Artest,
Andrew Bynum.
You could have maybe put them more. Yeah, you could.
The Pistons, Rip Hamilton, Chauncey, and
only
Rasheed.
won though.
They made a lot of ECFs though.
Now you got to show respect to the
Kobe,
Pistons.
Shaq, Fisher.
Kobe, Shaq, Fisher,
You got to show respect to the Pistons.
Shout
or
out. They
Rick
only won 2.
Fox.
Rick Fox. They only won 2 though.
So we're gonna end off the show on a Would You Rather. So this is Would You Rather Jayson Tatum edition. First name up, Joel Embiid,
I'd go Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid.
Brandon Ingram,
Jayson Tatum.
Jimmy Butler,
Jayson Tatum.
Jayson Tatum.
DeMar DeRozan,
Jayson Tatum.
Paul George.
Jayson Tatum.
Paul George.
Bro,
He said, "Would you rather?" Please don't ask me questions.
but bro, we literally just had this conversation, and you just put Tatum
Can I
over Paul
can I explain
George.
why? Can I explain why? Paul George missed this season, but if you're stacking them up, player for player, like really breaking down the facets of the game, there's not many things you can think of that Tatum does better than Paul George. It's really even, honest to God, if you're really breaking down the game.
So it's because it's preference. You like Paul George more. You're taking Paul George.
Yes.
Fine.
Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard. Don't stand on it, Tatum. Take Tatum, bro. Stand on it.
Jayson Tatum.
There you go, buddy.
Jaylen Brown.
What the hell?
Jayson Tatum.
Anthony Davis. This is the last one.
Which
Anthony
one?
Davis. It's just Would You Rather. It's open for interpretation.
Healthy AD? Yes
I would
or
say,
no?
I'm gonna say Tatum. This is tough for my boy right here, though.
You didn't have to do this.
You
to
keep
me.
thinking of the bubble guy. Think of him.
Yo, shut up. Like, in 2021, he didn't come out and almost beat the
Almost.
Western Conference champions.
You mean the frauds?
Whatever. Healthy AD, yes or no?
I told you. He was gonna-
Okay, assuming AD is healthy, yeah.
100% healthy?
And he worked out.
Lock. AD.
They did.
Lock.
Oh, so okay. So assuming he worked out, he in the lab, he health and all that.
You saw he was working out with the...
because we
the
trolled
shot
him to
doctor?
do it.
Yo, I love him for that.
embarrassing.
Shout out to you, AD. I hope you're coming crazy next season. Yeah, healthy AD, I'm taking AD.
You are.
Healthy AD? Come on.
There's no such thing.
But we're saying we're living in this world. He just said, yes, healthy AD.
I'm just
So then
saying.
what's the answer?
For me,
Healthy AD, put your bias aside. Don't be
I don't.
crazy.
You know, I don't even like Tatum. So there's no bias. There's no
But
bias.
you don't
here.
like Anthony Davis specifically.
So I don't like either. So healthy AD or Tatum, I'm gonna go Jayson Tatum.
That's nuts.
I'm gonna go Jayson Tatum.
So that's going to do it for episode 188 of the Pick a Side Podcast. You can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Pick a Side Podcast.
12 more to 200.
Yep. On Twitter at Pick a Side Pod and buy merch
Really?
at pickasidepodcast.com. Thank you guys for listening and or watching, and we'll see you next time.